And good rising, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee Talk with Karen B. How is everyone? Yes, today is June 5th, 2023. And I'm happy to be back. Did you guys miss me? Probably not. That's okay, though. It's kind of like weird June gloom over here. It's all overcast and rainy and so look at my lighting's even kind of dark because usually my room is lit up with these two windows because the sun is bright, and it's like I have like evening time lighting in here. Anyway, we're live on Facebook on a page called Deception, Fraud, and Fakery, which is, very good name. We discuss a lot of that here because it happens all the time. We're also live on Rockfin. Hello to Rockfin. Oh, shit. I forgot to hit go live on Rockfin again. Fuck. Flat Earth Life Matters. Tommy Tell the Truth. Hi, Tommy Tell the Truth. Good to see you. Thanks for the tip. It's 20 till, aka time to smoke again. I wish Rockfin would fix that. Just fix it. I want to go live. Hit go live. I always forget. There's too many things to remember. And on Rumble, and of course on YouTube's. Okay, commercial sound and video, National Memorial Gardens. Hi, good times for all. Hey, what's up, Zach? Vegas baby. RJ Cranston, Alpine Endeavor, Aislink 717, Richard Thompson. Good to see you. 1 hour 36 minutes to 11:11. We'll get there. Lovely day to you, Karen B in the chat. Cheers. Everyone is doing well and feeling great. Awesome. Hope everyone. Yeah. Billingtano. Hi, Nachiketa. You guys had fun this morning on IRM? That's cool. Sometimes I wake up randomly very early and I listen to that. I did not do that today. But you guys do have a cool show over there. It's cool in the morning because once I turn it on and I start listening to it, I very rarely turn it off. Unless I fall asleep. Melodome. Sander. Tea instead of coffee. Good for you. I drink tea too sometimes, but mostly coffee. The Mandy Effect. Hi, good rising. Sue Finelli, happy Moonday. It's good to see you, Sue. What's up? Good. Of course, we missed you. Glad you're back. Aw, thanks. Booyaka Sean. Isn't Iron Realm Media on Tuesdays? Yeah. Yeah, today's Monday. Yeah, they're Tuesdays and Fridays. I know, but somebody else was mentioning IRM. I know that. Why did I? Whatever. Don't judge me. I also thought it was Tuesday and Fridays. No, it's not today. Relax. Everybody relax. He was just talking about it. Anyway, I would like to talk about a few things today. I took last Monday off because as you guys may or may not know, I was having trouble getting the website going. The website is now working and tickets are on sale for Flattoberfest 2023. which is going to be in Las Vegas, Nevada. Right now, the tickets are on early bird sale. Early bird sale. I want to keep saying this. This is an early bird sale. There are 25 tickets left at the current price as of this morning. So let's see. Yeah. So that's what's going on. Then the price has to go up because this is going to be a much larger event than I've done in the past. Obviously, it's at a hotel. It's the biggest room in the hotel that we've rented. It can fit a lot of people. Just remember what it was like for FEIC. It's kind of like that again, okay? And it's kind of crazy that I have less time in which to pull all this together. I'm kind of freaking out a little bit about it, but it's going to happen. It'll work. We're on it. We're working on it. So that's what's going on. Also, I was happy to take last Monday off because, yeah, Vegas. I was happy to take last Monday off because, I kind of got a little bit, I don't know, just tired of the BS that's been going on. Like, this whole like giant trees and sap thing and whatever. People want to theorize that mountains are. You know what, dude? Here's where I'm at with that. I really don't give a shit what you think mountains are. I don't give a shit what you think they are. I know what I think they are, and I have my idea of how this realm works in relation to ancient written texts, i.e. the Bible and whatever, okay? So, I have my own way of going about looking at things and kind of trying to figure this place out. And I don't really care about, these other things that people are all into. If you think they're all melted brick buildings, cool. You go look into that, okay? If you think they're all giant trees, cool. You go look into that. I don't think either one of those things is necessarily the answer, okay? And I got frustrated because everybody wants to come to my channel or come to me and tell me that they're going to tell me why their idea is the right idea, and I really don't care to hear it. Maybe that's me being closed-minded, but you know what? Here's the thing. I've already looked at that stuff. That's the thing. People act like I never have looked at any of this stuff. Hello? There was a fucking video made like 4 or 5 years ago called No Forests on Flat Earth, okay? That was the first introduction to mountains being tree stumps, okay? And you know what? I really didn't jump on that bandwagon back then because I didn't really see what, I saw some of the visual similarities, but I still have more questions that need to be answered, okay? It takes more than like a surface level, visual survey of things, in my opinion, to figure stuff out. So even back then, I was here. If y'all were here, I was here too, okay? I didn't get on that bandwagon back then. I didn't get on the Tartarian one. I didn't get on the mud flood one. Just because I don't get on these trendy subjects and start going along with these trendy ideas, doesn't mean, one, I'm a gatekeeper. Doesn't mean, two, that I think the mainstream story is true. It means that I'm looking at it from my own methodical point of view. Okay? So when I go to these other places, everybody acts like I don't go look at other stuff. So then I'm over watching another video and everybody's in the chat calling me a gatekeeper. Karen doesn't look at anything that she doesn't believe in. I'm like, I'm sitting here fucking watching it, and you guys are sitting here saying I don't look at it. So, whatever. So I got frustrated with that, just because, I haven't done a formal presentation or any of that on my ideas because I'm still putting pieces together personally, okay? I'm putting pieces together and I'm doing it very slowly because I don't think we're going to figure everything out over the course of a few years. Like, I highly doubt that is the case. I mean, if you really want to think about it and you really want to look at everything from a critical point of view and you really want to scrutinize facts, I don't know why anybody thinks we're going to unravel and discover the complete hidden history of the Earth over the course of, what has it been now, like 8 years since 2015, which is like when the majority of people started, waking up to flat Earth. Give me a fucking break, So that's where I'm at with that. Okay, you guys think whatever you want to think. That's cool. I don't think that. And it doesn't mean that I'm pushing the mainstream narrative. And it doesn't mean that I'm a gatekeeper. I don't even tell people not to look at that. I just don't talk about it or go down that route because that's not where I'm led. I am not led there. Okay? So I follow information where I feel led, where I feel like there is something to be found there. Not where everybody else tells me I should motherfucking go. Okay? So that's that. I just want to get that right out of the way from the beginning. Okay? Hey, there's Dr. Law. See, I did a coffee talk today, Dr. Law. I almost took another day off because of the aforementioned bullshit that I just had to address. Hey, Ginger. So anyway, I just want to address that. When I see people talking about stuff that I don't agree with, do you see me going around and going, oh, that's an agent. You must be an agent. You must be here to deceive people. You're here to divide, you agent. Like, come on. I do not ever call people agents or whatever. There's people that I'm suspicious of, but I don't go around saying everybody that I disagree with is a gatekeeper or an agent. Oh, you're just dividing people, Karen. No, I'm not dividing people. All of you are coming to me telling me that I need to be going along with your ideas, and I'm not doing it. And then you guys go around and go, oh, Karen's causing division. Why do you need my validation? Again, I will ask, why do you need my validation? You don't need my validation. You all have channels. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about. And not only that, but everybody who talks about that, all your channels are bigger than my channel. You have more subscribers than me. So what are you complaining about? You're going and getting interviews on all of these platforms. Nobody asked me for interviews, So why? Why do you have to turn around and start throwing sticks and stones at me? Just because I don't go along with your ideas. Seriously. The hypocrisy. Stop it. And then I told Ted I wasn't going to rant today. Here I am fucking ranting. Anyway. Patrol. No breaks for you. Anyway, I don't know if any of you have tried to call in, but my phones are open. It is a call-in show, 848-222-2480. Please do not try to drive me off track too far. And Brian O'Shea, don't you even fucking think about calling in here, because I'm not putting up with your bullshit today. I don't even know if you're watching or not, but fuck off. I just want to get that established. And I would also like to talk about possibly talking about maps today, because incidentally, I feel like I guess it's an apt subject maybe right now, because the declination subject came up on Globebusters, and it was a almost like a synchronicity, because I was building a Photoshop file with multiple polar projections of like the AE basically projection map and like different things about the poles, and I was overlapping them, and I was trying to figure out one, where those two magnetic poles, the two magnetic points that you see on the old North Pole maps, where they actually fall in the AE map, and which way the islands would have been orientated, and that sort of thing. And I wanted to kind of maybe try to figure out, you know, if they say the pole's been moving, like where is it? Where was it initially? Where has it been going? You know, because of they say the magnetic north moves, and when you look at the different paths that they say that the magnetic north pole has taken, it's kind of a trip. And here's the other thing: very rarely do you find it, but there are points that show both of the poles moving. So there's the magnetic north, and then it says the geomagnetic north pole. So there's the magnetic north and the geomagnetic north. So they do recognize both of these, right? When you're talking about the movement of the magnetic poles and magnetic declination. Magnetic declination North Pole map. Let me see if I can find the one that I was and then I found some interesting stuff about early globes too, and some kind of anomalies that I think are actually worth talking about. So we'll get to that. Do I not have it open? Like here. North magnetic pole, true North Pole, and then there's also the geomagnetic North Pole. So let me see if I can North Pole is moving to Russia, they say. Here we go. Here's one. Okay. So, North Geomagnetic Pole. See how it's moved, but not nearly as much, right? And then there's the North Magnetic Pole, they just call it, right? And this one's moving a whole bunch. So, good news for people in North America is that the Aurora Borealis appears to follow the geomagnetic pole, which is moving much slower. The magnetic North Pole is now moving so fast that the World Magnetic Model had to be updated urgently in 2019. So whenever they have to update the World Magnetic Model, that means like different airports will have to change their magnetic declination whenever flights are going into that airport. So anybody who's a pilot will tell you that 100% magnetic declination does occur, and it does actually change actively because the pilots have to deal with that and have to update, the airports have to update regularly. So that's one major reason why magnetic declination is an actual thing. Ping pong champion. No breaks for you. So what's in the coffee? Collagen. This collagen supplement that I always take, I put it in my coffee because collagen's very important for your hair, skin, and nails as you get older. And this one also has probiotics in it and a little bit of half and half. And that is what I put in my coffee. No sugar. Never any sugar, though. Hi, Marty. These are the rants I tune in for. Yeah. You know what, Notch? Usually that's why. Oh, one big love. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you in chat. Hi, which one is it? Is that you, Jason? Oh, I love one big love, you guys. They are the best. They are truly the best. You can tell my chat's over here, right? So I keep looking over there. Talk about declination? Okay. I guess I am. Yeah, just half and half. I like a little half and half in there. They say when they get close, the poles will shift, the earth will stop, and we will be flooded out. This is the globe model. You know what I think? Oh, so good to see you. I hope you're well. I want to hang out with you again soon. Okay, so anyway, that's one thing that I was looking at. It's funny, and I was looking at it right before the Glowbusters show. So, and the other thing I found is, now this is what everybody thinks of when they see the Earth's magnetic field, right? They put the ball in the center of the toroid. They always do this, and they have like a bar magnet. They make it look like there's a bar magnet going through the center of the Earth, and this is north and this is south. This is the deception. This right here is the deception of the globe right here using magnetic declination. This is how they do it. And it's like Cami says, it really is. Once you start looking at it as a flat realm and how the magnetics work, and start, how the fields can be set up in a certain way to mimic the field that we're seeing when we look at magnetic declination maps, right? So let me open. One second, you guys. I'm sorry. I have to pull this up. There we go. Sorry. So the magnetic declination map in the AE form is like this, right? So you have that clover. Oh, this is missing the clover. Oh my gosh, I have so many files open in Photoshop. Oops. It's my favorite program. Sorry, not sorry. Small complete. Oh, here we go. Here's the complete version. Okay. So this is I took a Mercator version, and it's not even perfect because when they do the Mercator version of the magnetic declination map, the the squares, they get sequentially taller as you go towards the top, right? Because the Mercator has the infinite poles, right? They like roll it out in a way that like the poles just go on forever and get distorted, right? So the little squares, so when I make an AE map from the magnetic declination map, it's not accurate to the Gleason version of the AE map. It's not accurate because they don't give you the equidistant, you know, they don't give you the proper proportions to make it an equidistant circle. But they do give you the correct version of the pole, right? Of the magnetic pole map. And so I can kind of, through like trial and error, I tried to make it match as best I could. But even this is not going to be really complete or accurate, right? This is just a guesstimation. You can see right here where, you know, the lines meet kind of okay, but it's not perfect, right? There's something missing, you know, there's a little bit of a jump there, but it's as close as I could get it. And some of these parts right here around the equator are a little bit more compressed than it would be on the AE part. So like in the AE map, which I'll show you, you can see it's less compressed, right? This is AE. So this is the one they give you. I hope you guys can see what I hope before I, okay, yeah, you guys are looking at what I'm looking at. Okay. So this is the one they give you, right? So you see, here's the equator, right? And right near the equator, the squares there's like squares, right? And then as it gets taller, the squares get longer. You see how they get longer, their little area, because it gets to the distorted pole, right? So that's why when I make this into a polarized version, the equator part is a little bit more compressed. So it's really not that accurate. So, but you know, I can only work with what they give me, man. You know? Reclaim the plane. Much love, One Big Love. You're a content creator. You know that, my dude? I'll measure mine if you measure yours. It's inverted. A toroidal field has a plane of inertia. Well, yeah, but it's not, here's the thing. It's not just the Earth's magnetic field is not like this. This right here, this idea of a toroid, this is like a single point of energy, okay? This version of a toroid, like, let's see. Okay. This version of a toroid, this donut, that's the perfect, you know, that's the perfect toroid. That's the ideal version of it. It's not how Earth's field looks like because it's dynamic. We have cycles, we have moving parts, you know, things that move in the sky, pressure differentials and changes and stuff that like cycles, right? So it's not just one toroid. There's a whole bunch of them. Some of them are bigger than others. And some of them interact in certain ways that create what we see in this magnetic field, right? So, for instance, in the center, it's a quadrupole. There's a red and a blue, right? So every field, you know, if you think about it like the polarity, you know, plus, you can think of it as plus or minus, or you can think of it as red or blue. You know, you can think of it as in and out, ebb and flow, right? It had, like, that's the toroid. That's why it is the infinite symbol, right? That's why infinity is that figure 8, because if you cut a toroid in half, that is the infinite signal and infinite symbol, and it is also the movement of energy within a toroid, right? So that's what it is. It's so they use that, and because, like, there is truth to the where is that stupid picture? There is truth to this, right? Like, that is the idea of a perfect magnetic field, one by itself, like as if it's a single point of energy. Like, if you ever look at, like, what they tell you an atom is, and they show you the different pictures of it. I mean, I've done this where you take those pictures and you turn it into a GIF and you play them all really fast. It looks like a toroidal field in motion. I mean, that's all it is. It's a single, it's like the secret to the universe. I don't really know how to explain it, but they take the ball and they put it in the center of the toroid and the stupid bar magnet, and that's not even how it works. Has nothing to do with how the magnetic field works in reality on Earth. I don't know why they do it. Well, yeah, I know why they do it, because they want to brainwash everybody. Here, you stupid monkey. This is what your stupid monkey ball looks like, and here's how it works, right? That's what it is. So anyway, it doesn't look like that though. And it is shifting, okay? And look at this map right here. This one I thought was interesting. This one has both of the poles too, but it goes back much further than the other one did. So like 200 AD. What's older? 12. So 200 AD, is that as far back as it goes? So right here, 200 AD, and they've got it moving like boom, boom, down over here, 500 AD. Then it's like all the way over here, goes around this way, comes back over here, then like around 1000 AD, it's right there, and then it goes like this, and comes around here, then like 1250 AD, it's way over here, and then it comes back over here, 1500, it's way over here, and then over here, and over here, and over here. Like, it's crazy, okay? And then, if you see right here, this is the geomagnetic pole, the other one that doesn't move quite as much, but like right here, 1620, 1720, and then down to 1860. It's down here in like the Hudson Bay area. Then it starts going back north again. 1994 to 2000, 2006. So right now it's supposedly much more towards the true center. But that doesn't even make any sense. You know what I'm saying? So what is going on? I need Vegas. Yeah, baby, Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. Hey, Law. Does that mean you're gonna resurrect Lavis if you're gonna come to Las Vegas? Please do show me how my stupid monkey ball works. Never really figured that out. Do we just believe them when they tell us the pole is shifting? Could the shift just be a lie, like space? Well, here's the thing. I am Ion's cat. Like, people say that, but when it comes to, 1, commerce, and 2, people's lives, and 3, commerce involving people's lives, you can't really fake that shit. Do you know what I'm saying? You cannot fake it, because if we're talking about needing to change magnetic declination so that you cross from one side of the ocean to the other and you end up, going to the port you need to get to with your billions of dollars of product on the cargo ship, don't you think that they would consider that important if they had to change it and update it? Or a cargo flight, flying from anywhere to any other airport, and if the instruments, are reading off of, whatever they're reading off of, compasses, whatever's involved for navigation, don't you think that would be important for them to be accurate with that? because you're talking about people's lives and millions and billions of dollars of trade. So like when people say, oh, they're faking magnetic declination, like I really don't understand how you people think that that's possible, because literally everybody is navigating all across the world, taking that into account. I mean, that's the other thing. So where was that other page? Here we go. So this stupid page with this stupid ball image that I started complaining about in the first place. Okay, so the point of there's a difference between true north and magnetic north. Okay, so, and you see this is like the point is where you are. There's true north, there's magnetic north, and there's the degree of difference is the magnetic declination. So if you're like a survivalist and you're out in the wilderness and you're literally navigating using a map and a compass, which people do, okay? And when people do this, they take into account magnetic declination, okay? And then there is still a degree of error there. Like it says here, there's like there's up to a 2 degree of error when you're still navigating that way on your map, right? So it's not perfect, probably because they're telling you Earth is a ball, but really it's flat, you know? And that's probably where that 2 degree comes from. Actually, if you look at here, it says that grid north refers to the direction northwards along the map projection grid lines. This comes from a 3D object, the Earth, being depicted on a 2D object, a map. Okay, so literally they even tell you there's a degree of error. Well, is the degree of error because of that, or is it because they're lying about the shape of the Earth? You know what I'm saying? So like people's lives depend on sometimes knowing the difference between magnetic north and true north by calculating magnetic declination. So when it's that important, I don't see how people could fake. How could you fake it? How do you fake that? Everyone brings signs that say win $1,000 in casino chips from Sam's Town by giving us one globe proof. We can stand on the street and group smack everyone. I'll pay the money if someone wins. Awesome, David. Let's do this. That's gonna be fun. They need to know to line up the runway from a long distance away. Exactly, Zach. So like if you're off, now 2 degrees, you could probably account for that, you know, visually within a short amount of time, but 16 degrees, like that's a big difference. So if you're flying somewhere and that's your magnetic declination and you ignore that, you're not going to get to where you think you're going. I mean, you guys, seriously, everybody who's been on a plane, that magnetic declination has been taken into account when that plane has been navigating the airways with your butt on it. So like, you have to, I don't know why how could anybody fake that? If anybody's got a good explanation for that, my phones are open, 848-222-2480. Better to save a life. Cheers, dear Roo, for you. Sarah G. navigated through the Gila in New Mexico with compass and map. Lucky to be with the seasoned Boy Scout. The variation changes with your position. Exactly, Lloyd. Thank you. It changes. See, now here's the thing. I figured out when we were doing sun tracking years ago how to measure my own magnetic declination and the difference between true north and magnetic north, okay? And it was the one time that Dr. Zach told me I did something brilliant. Because I was like, hey, check this out. I can measure magnetic declination. And I did. And here's the interesting part. So, you know, they give you these magnetic declination numbers, right? And, you know, I think for the most part, they're trying to be pretty accurate. But when I measured the magnetic declination myself from my house, it didn't match what USGS said for my location. It was a little bit off. Cammy's, however, was right on because she did sun tracking, and I had her sun tracking protractor thing where she took notes, and I measured it on hers, and her magnetic declination did match USGS. So, you know, while I think it is possible that there is some degree of error left in there, kind of to maybe account for the difference between globe and flat, and it works good enough, right? Because once these planes get into the airspace of the airport they're going to nowadays, the air traffic controller says, oh, your position is blah bitty blah bitty blah, you need to go to blah bitty blah bitty blah position and line up for landing, right? And they'll go, okay, I'll get in there, and then they do that. All right, they help guide them into the airport. You know. Hey, Jason Ray, welcome to Based. I don't know if I ever need to change the name of my membership, but I really didn't know what to call it, so that's what I called it. Because, you know, based. I like to remain grounded and based. Maybe changing maps and using declination to excuse why your compass doesn't match the map. Yeah, there's a way to check it. There was a project that me and Dr. Zach, or Decimal Z now, whatever he wants to call himself, we're gonna do. It was called Globe Earth or Google Earth versus real life, right? Where you can go into Google Earth and you can sort of mark, you know, it'll tell you, oh, if you put a spot there and then you put a protractor there and you make another point, mark another point, you can measure the degree, the azimuthal degree from your point on the map, right? And then you can go physically to that place and you can physically measure the degree of difference, right? So you go stand somewhere like a hilltop or a point where you can see pretty far. And I did it from Crowder's Mountain or King's Mountain. And from there, when you go to the top of that peak, you can see Charlotte, okay, which is 24 miles as the crow flies from that point. So what I did is I went there and I had my compass, my directional compass that, you know, reads the degrees and tells you where north is, and then, you know, took pictures, marked, measured the degree, between a couple points, and then that was a while ago, and Zach never did anything with it, and then he kind of fell off, and who knows whatever happened. But it's kind of a pain in the butt to go do it. You have to really be meticulous about the data that you record, right? So you have to have a level compass, right? You have to know where north is, know your magnetic declination. You have to have a camera, take pictures of it, document it, document, you know, what point it is you're looking at, measure the degree of difference between those 2 points, right? And then you can go back to Google Earth and and then measure it and see if it all matches. Now, this is all possible to do, but I'm telling you, just getting people to do that is incredibly difficult. I mean, it's incredibly difficult. And most people don't even, once you tell them what's involved, they're like, oh, they get really overwhelmed. So, you know, maybe we can put together some sort of like how-to video. I did a how-to video on how to do sun tracking a long time ago. Maybe I can put something together if everybody is interested, or if anybody is interested in doing that, because the more people that we have doing it, and also, you know, the longer the distances that you can see, the wider the points are apart, you know, then you can get a better idea of what's going on. Just don't go full GE. What? No, he's really there on hold. And I'm not picking it up. I'm over it. It's not happening. 1111 somewhere. They had to change the airport here. Hi. Oh, that's cool, Tommy. They are talking about what they want to talk about. You. I agree to disagree. Cheers, Tommy. Seriously, right? They're just all, it seems like they just all get mad that I don't want to go along with their party. And I'm like, dude, why? You don't need me over there. You guys are fine. FE needs a how-to video on photographing the solar eclipse and the pinhole camera crescent suns for the upcoming total solar eclipse, April 8th, 2024. That's pretty cool. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Why? Anyway, see, I'm already getting pulled off topic. Didn't you do this with the FE core? Yeah. Well, no. Well, we were gonna, that's the thing, we were gonna start doing it, and then it didn't really ever. See, 2020 happened, and on March 11th, everything kind of got flushed down the toilet. So yeah, that stuff just didn't happen. You know, but now that like the US is open, okay, everything's opening up again. I really, you know, yeah, FE Core kind of died. I really would like to start doing stuff like that again. I want to get out and do stuff, do some more measurements, do some more, you know, observations, and, you know, show people how they can sort of verify and measure the world around them. It's actually pretty easy. Remy's crying because Ted's got his car started. Oh my goodness. There's a large deposit of iron at the magnetic north which pulls the compass magnet. The hoax happened? What do you mean? Yeah, the plandemic. Exactly. Let me see here. Trying to get Rockfin chat on the screen again, but it's not working. Anyway, run Patreon. Plane geometry. Yeah, exactly. It's plane geometry because you need that baseline, right? Now I don't know what's at the center, but that brings me back to kind of what I was looking at, right? With when I was sort of overlaying all of these different things. So I'll show you what I was doing. I'll move the layers palette so it's not in the way. But so one thing I did is I was putting that that magnetic declination map, that polar projection, because that one polar projection piece actually matches the AE map pretty gosh darn well. So, but you know, it gets shrunk down so low, it's a little hard to read the numbers, but I just wanted to look at how the pattern looked in comparison to that. So I added that part. Then I found this map right here. This is the Mercator Mercator 1595. See if I can pull it up. Is it this one? Yeah. So that's this map. And I wanted to, because you see how Greenland, it says Groenland down here, and it's kind of funky shaping, like it's obviously not correct, or I don't know why it looks like that, but it does. Anyway, and Greenland is usually orientated, let's see, a little bit differently, right? So it's right here. So what I noticed on these other maps, like this one, when you go up here, it's got the degree right here, the 200, 190, 180. It's got the longitude lines, right? So it goes all the way around here, and I'm like, okay, so if I take these degrees here, where it's got 290 here, where their little meter line is, the scale, right, to show you degrees. I guess each one of these little blocks is supposed to be 5. No, because that's 65 and that's 70. So 1 degree, 90, 99, 98, 97, 96. No, it's more than that. Oh, 89, 88, 97. No, that's right, 1 degree each. I'm just a retard. Okay, so you have the Greenland right here, and then you have your little scale stick here, and then the degrees around the side. So I cut that out into a circle, and then I put it over the AE map. Whoops, that's not it. This one, according to the degrees, right? So I matched up the degrees here. So now you can see that for this, it's got Greenland in relatively, well, it doesn't even really match. So Greenland is a little bit different. Probably not, obviously not to scale. Did I make a smaller one? Let me see. Yeah, because this one's the bigger one, because I took the 3. Yeah, because this is the 0 line. 0, 15. Actually, it probably should be smaller. But I didn't make it smaller because it gets really, really hard to read. But let's try. Let's see here. So Greenland is out here. If I make it smaller. Makes you wonder if they changed their opinion of what Greenland is. But that looks to be like top of Alaska. It kind of looks like that. Like that would be it. But I don't know. Makes you wonder what happened to these islands, man. You know what I'm saying? What happened to the islands? So anyway, this is a pole shift map. You can see, and then this is it, sort of detail that's been increased, and it does have the geomagnetic pole here too. So magnetic pole shift down here, and it shows it moving north. And then this is the geomagnetic pole down here. So right here. So they're showing the geomagnetic pole kind of like between these northern islands of, I guess, what is Canada and Greenland. And then the geomagnetic pole shifting north. And then you can see right here, the distance between the measurements starts to get wider. So 2000 to 2010, it really jumped. So I was just trying to look at that, okay? Because they do have the two magnetic poles in the center on these maps, right? So if you believe this Mercator, if this Mercator is anywhere accurate, it labels a magnetic pole here in the center, and then it labels another magnetic pole over here between what is Russia and Alaska. Right? So whenever this was made, what, 1595, that's where they're saying the poles were. However, this doesn't really ever show. How far back does this go? Like 1900. 1900. So this only goes back to 1900. So it's like basically saying that this magnetic pole would have shifted from at some point, so like around 1595, between 15 and 1600, it was hanging out over here. Let me see if I could just make a little dot. I'll make a little dot. It was hanging out over here, right? Where is that? There it goes. It's like, why can't I see it? So it was actually started over here, and then the center, the geomagnetic pole, seems to have kind of always been hanging out right here and not really moving very much. It makes me wonder if, like, it really makes me wonder if Greenland isn't just part of this. And maybe that's just, but nobody ever goes there because it's Greenland and there's nothing there and nobody thinks it's fascinating. Because, I mean, if you look at these old maps, they have Greenland like touching, you know? So that's, but this is not correct. Well, maybe it is. I guess I did rotate it. Let me see. Yeah, see, it's weird that where they have the zero line, maybe it's different because of, maybe where they have the zero, maybe it doesn't work because of that pole. Yeah, I don't know. There is something weird with how the pole shifts in the center, though. It does affect stuff. So, but it is a big mystery. There's an AZ military map at Fort Abercrombie State Historical Park in Alaska that shows land at the North Pole. Really? That's awesome. But because there is. Remy knows Ted is taking him for a ride, yeah. Did a remote viewing of the North Pole and he saw the island from that map and the geodesic domes with ancient machines controlling something. Was he on DMT? I'll make a graphic for people to make signs. Solar tracking tutorial? Oh, okay. Let's see if I still have it up. Let me check. God, that's like gonna be one of my oldest videos. That was early. This is how, see the sun tracking and measuring the sun angles and all this stuff. This is, it's not showing up. Let me see. It might be, let me see. Sorry, I'm gonna see if I can find it. But doing all this stuff, yeah, this is where I started. And so like when everybody, and I started looking at and trying to figure out, you know, magnetic declination and the magnetics of Earth like years ago. So for me, it's like a subject that I guess it's like my pet subject. And so when people say magnetic declination isn't real, I gotta wonder, like, what? That doesn't even make sense. I can't find it. Did I delete it? Yeah, I don't see it. Maybe I did. Maybe I deleted it because I don't remember. Probably because nobody ever watched it and we never did anything with it. And so I was like trying to clean up my channel at one time, and I think I probably just. But I probably still have it. Let me do a little search. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Hey, Karen B. You recognize this voice?
No, not yet.
Why do you sound so depressed?
I'm not depressed.
Let's call it in the show.
I'm not depressed, but whenever somebody calls and says, "Do you recognize this voice?" I expect it to be like some like something not good. Because it usually is.
Oh, come on! Don't be negative. It's Monday. Let's start the week off right. Just be cool.
The last person to ask me that was Brian O'Shea. That's why.
Oh no, not that guy. That guy, man, he needs psychiatric evaluation. Something's wrong with that guy.
Oh really?
Yeah, he always trolling, gets into it with everybody. I swear, Ted should really do something about that.
What's your name?
Chris.
Chris?
Come on, Karen. You know who this is.
Yeah, I know you're always trying to worm your way into my fucking show, and I'm sick of it. Why don't you just fuck off? Fuck off! Like I said in the beginning. I swear to God, dude. You know what it's like to have a stalker? You know why he's saying Ted should do something about that guy? Because he's like revealing to everybody about himself that he is desperate for somebody to stop him from being a piece of shit. And he's desperate for attention, which is why he comes to my show to call in. Swear to God, dude. Just over it. Over it. I have no interest, dude. None. Zip. Zero. Zilch. Take your bullshit and mosey. I know, he's trying to disguise his voice. And then he changed his number to a Las Vegas number. So, you know how I know you're a troll? Because you have to hide your identity when you call into a show. That's how you know you're a troll. When you have to literally be deceptive about who you are when you call in somewhere, you're a fucking troll, dude. I mean, sorry about your problem. I'm sure you can be cured of that somehow. But whatever. He lives around Greenville, SC. Watch your 6. Well, I don't live in Greenville, so that's good. Exactly. So anyway, somebody please remind me what I was talking about again. Oh, that's right, the North Pole, magnetics. So anyway, where was that one, the zigzaggy old, yes, this one I want to see. So let's copy this image. I want to put this one in here and see how it looks compared to this other one that I've got. I don't know what it is, you guys. I tell Ted this all the time. I tell him I'm a freak magnet. I mean, you guys see it happen firsthand. They just, like, want to latch onto me and tell me all of their horrible, like, dirty little secrets or something. I don't know. I want nothing to fucking do with it, dude. Nothing. Alright, so move that pole shift one so I can stick this one in here and see where they say the whatchamacallit has been going, because this is like the oldest pole shift map I think I've seen. Not that I trust it, but you know, just for shits and giggles. It's the data we have. Let's see, still too big. It's the data we have. It's what we've got to work with. So I think it's interesting to just see how this lines up. Is this? A little smaller. Okay, so there we go. So this gives us a good idea. Yeah, they still, even this one, doesn't ever have the geomagnetic pole over here like it says in those North Pole maps. It's got it over here on the opposite side, which is kind of weird. What do you guys think about that? What does it mean? What does it all mean? So this is kind of where that magnetic pole is showing up roughly when you look at these old North Pole maps. But any sort of historical pole movement map that I can find doesn't ever show anything over there. So that's kind of weird. I thought that was a weird anomaly that I noticed when I started to overlap all of these pole maps from over time. You know what I'm saying? And it's also interesting that this actually, where this supposed magnetic pole should have been, that's where the international date line is, isn't it? It's down this longitude out this way. I'm pretty sure. I had to hang up Oh. I didn't ever see you there. I just saw that weirdo there. And it made me, like, ignore the phone. So, next time you're on hold, you should tag me and tell me. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Hey, Karen, it's Ginger. How are you?
Hey, Ginger. I'm good. How are you doing?
Honestly, it's been a really rough week, but that's not the point. I just want to give you two stupid jokes.
All right.
All right. So, which Spice Girl can carry the most gasoline?
Which Spice Girl can carry the most gasoline?
Yeah. It's obvious once you think about it.
I don't know.
Jerry can.
I forgot their names. I was thinking of their Spice Girl names. I'm thinking Scary Spice. I don't know.
Oh yeah, and Sporty is like the most fit in theory.
Yeah.
So, yeah, nobody thinks of the names.
All right.
So a dung beetle walks into a bar, asks the bartender, "Is that stool taken?" Yeah. But yeah, sorry. I usually have to work. I'm on vacation this week, so I'm happy I got to catch the coffee talk. So just want to say, love you guys, and yeah, it's fucking long distance. Anyway, take care.
All right. Thanks, Ginger. It's good to hear from you.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Ginger. Y'all, that was Ginger. Blocked by the Spice Girl. Blocked the Spice Girls out. So, anyway, that's what I was looking at yesterday, and I thought that might be interesting to share with y'all. It's just interesting. I wonder, and then I started wondering, okay, if there's islands there, I mean, because so many maps have islands in the north, right? In multiple projections even. So I started wondering, like, what happened? Because there's certain maps where they describe these islands as having like pygmies living on them, where it seems like there might be moderate temperatures, or there at least were moderate temperatures at one point, in the pole or in the center. But now they aren't. I don't really know. Are they hidden? Is it like a cycle? Is it a freeze-thaw cycle where the center freezes over and those lands become hidden? And right now that's what's happening. And not so very long ago it was thawed. At one point I was trying to think, well, maybe those lands in the center were like a lower elevation and the sea levels have risen, right? Like we're in a warm cycle, so there's more water. And so maybe those islands are underwater right now. I don't know. But then, that whole thing where like if water freezes, in in the cup, right? If you fill a cup with ice and then you fill it with water, when the water thaws out, the level doesn't change, right? So I'm trying to imagine, like, what would be the force? Is there something that could cause those lands to be hidden and revealed through some sort of cycle? Is it that they were destroyed? Is it that I mean, that just really, for some reason, I can't stop wondering, like, what happened to those islands? Where are they? Are they there? Are they hidden? Do they still exist? What's going on in the center? Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Good morning, Karen.
Hi.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
It's Jason Ray. Listen, I call you about the long distance photography and what you guys are doing with FE Core. I know it's changing gears a little bit from the magnetic pole, but can we take a minute for that?
Sure.
So I remember Rob Skiba doing it across the Great Lakes, the boat, and that seems as close to evidential that. But when I talk to people about it, they get bogged down because of the math. It seems like everybody gets hung up on the math, and I think it's pretty basic geometry.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a son who has a chemical engineering degree, and he and I can't even agree on the formula for the curvature. I mean, that's how bad it is.
Okay, well, why not?
Cognitive dissonance. I'm serious.
Yeah.
I mean, he is so university programmed and indoctrinated that he doesn't even want to venture into it. But if he uses this critical thinking part of his brain, it's pretty obvious. So I've been pushing for, let's go do experiments. I live on the Gulf Coast of Florida, and I have a son-in-law who works out on the he works on a drill boat. They drill for, and so he's always moving. He's not on a rig. He's actually on a ship, and they'll stay there for months until they tap the line. And he and I were talking about it, and he's FE minded. I mean, very strongly. He's talking about seeing almost 30 miles away to rigs or platforms, but with the density in the air out there, it's hard to do that. So my question has always been, what's a good scenario? And I know FE Core was going down that path. What's a good scenario for putting together an experiment? And you started scratching that surface this morning, and I mean, I'm really about it.
An experiment for the curvature?
Right.
Okay. Well, there's not really, technically it wouldn't be called an experiment. They're just measurements, right? So that's what we call them whenever we're doing it. We're just doing measurements because that's all we can do is we can't measure the distance to the sun. We can't measure the distance to the moon. Like, the everyday person can't do that, but we can take the math, that they give us for the ball earth curvature, and we can try to measure for that. So that's what we do. You just try to find the point to point, the longest distance you can do, the longer the better. And then you just try to make a visual, some sort of visual observation from point to point that should be impossible with the earth curvature the way it is. So anything point to point. So that would be like a visual, like Jaron talks about the heliograph, where you take the mirror and you flash the mirror. That would be a good thing to do. Some people use lasers. Lasers can be hard because the laser beam spreads out over time. That was like the major problem when we were doing long distance laser observations, is because, you know, the inverse square law of light, the once the beam leaves the source, it starts to spread out, you know, and get bigger and bigger and bigger the further out you go. So you have to get these special lasers with a collimated lens that tries to keep that beam as small as possible for as long as possible, which is really difficult to do. But you can still do it too if you have like one person with a camera on the other side, and you make that visual. And you've got another person, you have to have two cameras, right? You got one camera on one side and one camera on the other side, and and a third person who has the laser at least on one point, so that the person can record the person with the laser and how close they are to the surface of the water or whatever it is, wherever it is you're doing, so they can document the location and the height of the laser. And then the other person with the other camera can look back and get that visual reference. Once you see the source of the laser light, that flash, like that's pretty clear that you're seeing the source of the laser light. A lot of people like to say, oh, the laser beam, you know, bends and refracts and blah, 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 and you don't see it. Well, yeah, it does. But if you see that source of that laser light, you're seeing the laser. You're seeing the person holding the laser. You know, it's almost the same thing as if somebody flashes that helograph, they flash that mirror and you see the flash from across, and it's pretty clear. You know, if you see it there, it's there. You know, that's what a lot of people don't understand about refraction. They always try to say that it will bend around a curve, but refraction doesn't work like that. If you can see it, it's there. If you see the refraction of the object, it's there. Right? Like,
makes sense.
There should be a point where it's around, if it's around the geometric curve, if it's physically on the other side of an object, you're just not going to see it. So that's why a lot of people pick that as their number one proof. We see too far, because you can make observations all the time if you just find a good location. You see, and that's the other thing too, is most people physically aren't in a location where they can always see that far. Right? Most of us, I mean, we're short, we're small, we're close to the surface of the earth. Most of the time we don't see that way. You know, we're not seeing more than like a mile or two in any direction most of the time. So you have to find a specific spot to make those observations. You know, and then once they do
that's why you use water.
Yeah, exactly. That's why water is the best, because water is always level. Right?
Yep. Exactly.
I mean, even if you look up
to sea level.
Yeah, if you look up water level in Wikipedia, it tells you it's more accurate than a laser level.
Facts.
So
that's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the math is the math. I mean, it doesn't lie. And you know, talking about, well, how do you get the formula? You know, it's per mile squared. I said it's the Pythagorean theorem based on the radius of the Earth. It's agreed upon. Mm-hmm. And for someone who's so educated, it's so knowledgeable, can't come to that conclusion. So therefore, I'm going to stand still with it. And that's why when we're talking about doing actual measurements, I guess the word experiment is inaccurate, measurements, mm-hmm. and recording the data of the measurements, man, I'm all about it. That's a bucket list thing for me. Mm-hmm. So, but people just don't get hung up on the numbers. That they trust the numbers. They trust the, what they're told. They don't really actually go out and do it for themselves, and that's the difference in the thinking, I guess. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But if there were ever an opportunity to go out and do it, now basically, I guess it would be a military-grade laser that could, if you had access to that. That would be the difference. I guess that would be the proof.
Yeah, but you can just get like what do you call them? Like a 5. You know, you can buy them. Just a handheld laser, just a higher end handheld laser is usually good enough. Doesn't have to be military grade, really. Mm. I mean, you're gonna set stuff on fire with those little handheld lasers. You got to watch it.
True. True. Yeah, that's danger there. That's why you want to be out in the water. But not even using like a P1000 would even be enough for it, huh?
Oh yeah, a P900 is good enough. I have a P900. I never even bothered to buy the P1000 because the P900 does it. Like, that can see, farther than we should. It does
Wow.
it.
Okay.
I mean, you can get a P1000 is nice, but they're big and they're bulky, and they're kind of expensive, and a lot of people have them and they're good cameras. Like, there's nothing wrong with getting one, but I don't think it's necessary. You can do it with a P900.
P900 gives us the facts that we need, and it's I don't. To me, that's the only thing that you can go with as far as facts. As far as everything else is conceptual, but this is the eyes don't lie. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, man. That's why nobody can ever tell me that the Earth is not level and stationary, because I've seen it like multiple times. Because I had to go out and see it for myself. Everybody should do it.
That's where I'm at.
Yep. Everybody should do it.
One other thing that I pointed out, when people set mobile homes,
Mm-hmm.
you know what they use to level the mobile home?
What's that? Level?
A clear hose, a clear tube with water in it.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter it doesn't matter how long it is. On both ends, the water's going to be the same. It's going to be level. And I'm like, this is exactly what we're saying. Water finds its level, and it could be 75 feet away, but it's going to be the same on both ends.
Right.
And that's basic geometry, and that's still not good enough. Well, listen, I'm going to get out of here. I got to finish my coffee. I got some work to do. But I really appreciate the show.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for calling.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Have a good day.
You too. All right, David. I got your posters. I'll share them. Alrighty. So David is getting all excited. You getting all excited about Vegas. So here we go. It's our Vegas poster. Flattoberfest 2023. Win 2,500. Now it's 2,500 in casino chips to provide one proof of the globe Earth. Win 2,500 in casino chips. That's funny. I mean, I guess you could put as money as you want on there, because nobody's gonna win. But it does look good. That's funny. All right. You know what? I know a guy. There's a print shop. That guy, David Artie. He works at a printing place. We can have them. We can have them maybe print us some stuff. I'll have to call them. I'm starting to get print projects that I may want to start doing, so now I can start talking about the printing. I've zoomed in on phone, and with my phone on stuff I couldn't. Yeah, you know what? Ted's phone has a really good camera. He takes pictures of the moon with it. I'm like, you did that with your phone? You can see the features on it and everything. I'm like, it's pretty good, man. Couldn't find a good graphic of 1,000. Well, I have these blank casino chips. If you want some blank casino chips and you want to make your own, I can send you the because I have all that. I have, what do you call it? Don't you have like an account on one of those like art websites where you can download stuff? Dude, I got all kinds of stuff. Fuck it, 2,500. A guy who saw curvature with his own eyes when he was over 10,000 feet in Hawaii. That's hilarious. Ooh, 11, 11. 11, 11. 11, 11. 11, 11. Vegas, baby, Vegas. 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 All right. And we're back. Carrie, thank you for the tip on Ko-Fi. Appreciate you. Carrie, I hope to see you in Vegas. You better be there, lady. It's only 8:11. I know. But listen, I'm on Eastern time, so my time is always Eastern time. You know how Jaren is always Pacific time because he's in California? Yeah, I'm always Eastern time because I'm in North Carolina. So, that's what's up. All right. We're going to flat smack people in Vegas, try to get them to win $2,500 in chips. You know what? That'll really draw people in because people want money to gamble with. Everybody's looking to win big, right? I bet you that will sucker a bunch of people in. I just paid my car registration. Oh my gosh. If you live in California, you might... I feel your pain. I believe you could be broke from that. My mom told me what the registration was for her stuff in California. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. Man. So I see Earthship Bear is, you're talking about Dell's video. Do you guys want to go over Dell's video? What he thinks we're in motion? I mean, why does he think we're in motion? Because when he drops a bottle with water in it, the water stays at the bottom of the bottle? Maybe because water is dense. It's as dense as it can be. Water cannot be condensed anymore than it is in liquid form. So it's pretty dense. A lot of phones now has an AI enhancement for moon photography. Oh, you know what, OBL, you're right. Maybe that's true. I wonder why it would do that, though. Why would they need to do that? Is it just so to get people to think that their camera is better than it is? I'm in space. Yeah, man. Eastern Standard Time. No one's there but you, Brian. Nobody's ever in Rumble. I think you might be right about Rumble and their padded numbers. Like, there's hardly anybody ever there chatting. Let me see. Well, it says 6. 6 people watching on Rumble. Shout out to Rumble if you're watching on Rumble. Anyway, I was trying to go back into my viewing history to find Dell's video. Because I was gonna watch it. I started watching it, but I didn't finish watching it because honestly, I just don't. I mean, I'm obviously not going to agree with him. I already pretty much am, you know, I'm on board with this, with the electric universe and the static electrics of the universe, depicting the up and down and making things accelerate towards Earth. I feel like this is a sufficient explanation for why things go down. And I think that buoyancy and density are a sufficient explanation for sorting out the rest of it. So I really haven't gone into it too much. Exactly at the moment 11:11 was called out, I reached 2 mailboxes, 11A and 11B synchronous. That's pretty cool. Where is that video? There it is. Force and energy, it's all motion, globe and stationary, tractor beam, earth cult. So now he's calling us tractor beam, earth cult. Never take the jab. Someone put a photo of a blank white circle and the new Samsung camera was adding in the moon craters on the phone screen. Really? What? I wonder if Ted's phone does that. Oh, I'm gonna have to play with it now. Later, I'm gonna find out. That's really interesting. Ted, are you listening? I don't know if he's listening right now or not. Ted's usually doing stuff. He's busy. Always in motion. My water level never lies. Okay, do you guys want to go through this? Do we want to put this shit to bed? I'm willing to. And then I can save the rest of my magnetic declination stuff for Glowbusters Tech anyway, because I didn't really want to do all of it here, but I did want to just discuss it a little bit. And also, you know, rant a little bit, because apparently I ranting is something I do. Alright. Anyway, let's do this. Let's see what Dell thinks about the globe and stationary tractor beam earth cult. What does globe and stationary mean? Let me look at some of these comments first. Very simple. Globe and stationary. What does that mean? All right, let's see what he's saying.
What these people were talking about. And again, for me, that things are very, very simple. It's men and language that complicate things, right? So, the two main ones right now are force and energy, okay? Now, force and energy are words to describe motion, okay? So, we'll start with motion. Motion simply is, you know, we've got an object at rest, okay? And it wants to remain at rest, blah, 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 right? Now, what we require is we require force, which is just something else that's in motion to apply a pressure to something else that puts it in motion, right? So we can say that a certain amount of force is required to move that object, 30 centimetres. Now, using mathematics, we can, people work out equations for the amount of force and energy that's required in order to move an object any direction over a particular distance, right? All we really have in reality is motion. Force and energy are concepts to try and explain motion, okay? So first and foremost, what is a force? Well, if you go to a childlike, explanation, it will say a force can be intuitively described as a push or a pull. Again, this notion of push and pull, that, I push it that way, I pull it this way. We're talking in physical terms, we're talking about the mechanism of motion, no the relative direction to me. So the relative direction to me, I would say I'm pulling it towards me, right? I'm pushing it away from me, blah, blah, blah. But the mechanism, in any case, is something that applies a pressure over an area, right? And makes it move in any direction you want, right? There is no energy. When I push this, I don't impart some mystical, magical woo-woo onto this thing. It gains nothing, it loses nothing, okay? Again, energy are concepts to explain the amount of motion. So we can take something like, let's see, we can take something like fuel, right? And people describe this as it is potential energy, has the potential to achieve work or motion, okay? But the fuel in itself doesn't contain energy or force or any of these things. Again, like if I put fuel into an internal combustion engine and ignite it, we get an expansion that happens, we have a motion that happens that then has a knock-on effect that creates other motion. Okay, so in a vehicle you need fuel, which is ignited by the ignition, which then starts the chain of events, which is something pushing on something else, all the way to your wheels, which drives the car forward. You need grip on the floor so that it can push against the floor and propel you forward. Okay? So force is something that causes something to move. The amount of force people can describe as energy. How much energy is required. So we have different things like, if I've got a really heavy object and I apply just a pressure there, then I can keep applying a pressure until eventually it moves. So if I devise some sort of scale, I can then say, well, I had to apply so much force in order to make that move over a set distance, right? Or I can have an explosive energy like fuel, where it creates an explosion, which is an expansion, which causes an explosive type of motion. Motion is caused by the mechanism of push. In order for something to move, you need to push it. Okay?
In order for something to move, you need to push it. Am I reading that right? Did you just super chat me $500 peaceful? Because, thank you. That's amazing. I just like crayons, chest 2 peas. Cheers. I appreciate your support. Thank you so much. What is he talking about? Okay, can everybody understand Dell? Because I can understand Dell. He's saying that motion is caused by something, by force is the explanation of something to cause motion, right? So like the car doesn't move by itself, or he's saying it's the mechanical, I don't know what he's saying, I don't know, nonsense. I feel like he's just saying that, okay, the car doesn't move by itself, the car needs some sort of force, right? So he's talking about how you put the gas in the engine, and then it creates a combustion. You start the fire, you ignite it, you start the fire, and it ignites the fuel, which creates compression, which causes the wheels to move back and forth in the car. He's saying that nothing moves unless you cause it to move.
Hey, these are fundamental facts. So people talking about force and energy are talking about conceptual language, that's trying to describe motion. The only thing we have in reality is the motion. The mechanism of the motion, which we can say is force, which is really just pressure. Pressure applied to any object.
Pressure applied to any object. So I guess he's trying to explain what motion is. He's saying all we have in real life is motion, and what causes motion is pressure applied to the object. He's trying to explain physics.
In any given vector, right? So, you know, the vector here is that way, which is an opposite and equal, which is that way. Okay? It's very, very, very simple. So, you know, things like tension. If I apply pressure to both parts of this and I expand it out, people will say, oh, it has a potential energy now. No, I'm taking it out of its equilibrium, right? Which is a tension, not equilibrium, that I'm going to get to in a little minute, right? And this goes back to its structure, right? Because I'm applying pressure to that, and then it's going to get back. This is tension, force, or tension energy, whatever it is. It's just motion, okay? So let's, you know, again, I'm going to keep reiterating it here. We've got people talking about these words, these conceptual, mathematical use of language to try and explain. And again, it can be useful, because if I know how much pressure I need to apply in order to move that thing over a certain distance, then I can write that down, and it can become useful to me, and it can become useful to other practical people, so that we can comprehend, you know, what we're working with. But it's not a thing, you know, when we say energy, well, where's the energy here? Can I encapsulate energy? No. All it is how much pressure, how much push is being applied to something in order to make it move. Right. So, again, we go back. In order for something to move, a pressure has to be applied to it, a push. Something has to press upon it. Right?
So he's saying in order for something to move, a pressure has to be applied. And I guess that's the only way things move?
So if I push that there, right, it's over. That has nothing new. I have nothing new. I've not lost anything, and that has lost nothing. Right? So you get people now talking gibberish about, well, I move it, I give it potential energy. No, I don't. The pressure stops, the motion stops, friction of the surface prevents it from moving any further. There's a resistance, okay? It's no gaining anything, it's no losing anything. Again, energy are concepts.
Who says, what, he's saying there's potential energy? What? He's stuck on motion? What the fuck? Are you guys following along?
Explain motion and the amount of motion that we witness in any given circumstance. Okay? So these people now talking about, again, I'm going to get to this point with gas and liquid. And any point of acceleration, again, if somebody claims that something moves, that being it accelerates, then you require a mechanism. You require a mechanism. It's a must. We're not talking about fantasy Narnia physics here, where woo move.
Oh, fantasy Narnia physics. Fantasy Narnia physics. So he's saying there has to be a mechanism for something to move, is that it? Like there has to be a physical force or there has to be something physical to cause physical motion? Is that what he's saying? Am I getting that right? If I'm getting that wrong, please say so.
Whoa, move! Magic particle energy stuff, so sprinkle some fairy dust on it and ye shall move! Right, we're not talking about this gibberish. Right? If somebody claims acceleration happens, right? And in any given case, we can see that with gas and liquid, and any motion that we apply to it, we get displacement of the gas in the liquid. Now, if I was to hold this here and I was to let it go, right, people are invoking that this thing moves through space. Right, when I let that go, it's being claimed that this moves through space. So this is being claimed to accelerate, to move, motion. What have we established? If somebody claims motion happens, we need something that pushes on it. Right? No such thing as pull. Only.
So he's saying that when he picks something up and he drops it, it's moving. So they're claiming that it's moving through space, but did we just establish that for something to move, we need motion, right? Or what is it? For something to move, you need a mechanical thing. Oh, here we go. I see where he's going with this.
Push, pressure makes stuff move. So if this was to be accelerated in any direction, we get displacement of the gas in the liquid. In reality, when I let this go, there is no displacement. So acceleration, if I accelerate it in that direction, the liquid moves to the back and the air towards the direction of acceleration. So here, if somebody's going to claim this accelerates downwards, then this moves to the top and the air should move to the bottom. That's what happens in the case of acceleration. But people don't want that. They want to try and come up with woo-woo, globe-type, nonsensical gibberish about some magic. So this magic freezes the plastic, the air and the liquid together so that it's accelerated.
Does he not know the difference between like when you're changing direction, like inertial change, and just from one point straight down? Because, okay, you see how he's like, but he starts shaking the bottle and he's like, see how I move it and the water is displaced? But he's like, if I hold it like this, and he's saying that the water, the liquid stays at the bottom and the air stays at the top. And when he drops it, like there is no swishy, wishy-washy part, right? Like it just, the water goes down, the air stays at the top and the whole bottle falls like sort of in one piece, as opposed to when he shakes it back and forth, the sloshes back and forth. But am I the only one who's not seeing? I mean, does he realize the difference there? I mean, it's literally the same thing as like the difference between linear motion and what they tell you that the globe is, right? Because, let me see if I can find that video. Because does this make sense? So he's cymatics. No, it's not nothing to do with cymatics. What it's got to do with is that water is dense and it can't be condensed anymore. So liquid is typically can't be condensed to like, you can condense a gas down to a liquid, but the liquid is the condensed version, right? Like you can't condense a liquid any more than it is, right? So the liquid's is gonna be more dense than the air that is inside the bottle. So when you hold it upright and you let it go, yes, the liquid is gonna stay at the bottom because it's more dense than the air inside the bottle. It's the heavy part. It is the weight. It is what is giving that. What is the word for gravity? The word gravitas comes from the word weight. So the liquid in that bottle is the weight that is going to be seeking equilibrium and stopping when it gets to the bottom of wherever it goes. So yeah, where's my rotating globe video? Here we go. This one. Wait, no. No. hold on. It's not showing up. Why can't I find that video right now? Oh my god, I hate when I can't find something, and all the other times I already know where it is. But you know, like, if you follow the path of if you're a point on the outside of a spinning ball, your motion is not linear, right? It spins. It goes like this, actually, right? Because the ball is spinning and you're on the outside of it, so you're actually doing this type of motion, right? So it's not linear. So that's why we know the Earth isn't spinning, because of the change, the inertial change that should happen 2 times a day when you're on the outside of the ball, like like as if it's a scrambler ride.
And all at the same time, just like a solid, with no displacement occurring.
Just like a
Yet
solid.
we do not witness that
Because it can't be condensed anymore.
anywhere in reality. It's not accessible to human beings. It's pseudoscience. It's gibberish. No acceleration on the downward vector. None. No. We get to people like the ones that were talking last night. Just as I said, okay? So
he thinks because the liquid isn't sloshing around that it's not accelerating. I'm sorry, but I don't agree with that. Do you guys agree with this? I feel like this is ridiculous. How are we even still having this conversation? I mean, no offense, Del.
we've got this directional vector, right? And we will let things go. It appears that the thing goes to the earth. It appears that way. However, again, if it was the case, then we would see displacement. You do not get to request special tractor beam Star Trek type accelerative forces.
Tractor beam style, what?
Where it applies enough force on the gas, enough force on the liquid, all varying, forces to make it appear like a solid.
To make it appear like a solid? Dude, liquids can't be condensed anymore, so it might as well be a solid, but it's an amorphous... It's liquid is amorphous, right? It takes the shape of the container, so... I mean, that's the nature of a liquid, right?
That's absolute fucking hogwash. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I tried not to swear,
Okay.
but I'm sick of it. It's ridiculous. And it's really embarrassing. So now we've got people who are professing Earth's a stationary plane. Okay? But yet we have objects.
So he thinks... So he's going along with the Einstein that the Earth is accelerating up. So the objects, they're not accelerating towards the Earth. He thinks the Earth is always going up. And that's why the objects fall that way. So I feel like he's ignoring density and buoyancy. I mean, am I wrong? Does he forget about density and buoyancy?
We have a vector. Right? And again, anybody that's claiming that object, that is the thing that moves through three-dimensional space, requires a push mechanism. You're going to need a force in order to achieve that. But again, what type of force are we going to have that's accelerating the gas and the liquid all at the same time? That's nonsense. That's gibberish. There is no observed acceleration on the downward vector. Gas and liquid show you that. End of story.
Gas and liquid show you that. Okay, but what about... Okay, well... there's gases that are heavier than air that stay on Earth's surface. Does he not know about that? Does he not know about sulfahexafluoride? There's the helium, right? Where you inhale helium, you put a balloon. If you fill a balloon with helium, it becomes less dense, the air around it, it floats, right? When you inhale helium, it makes your voice higher. It makes you sound like that, When you inhale... Okay, then there's this gas called sulfahexafluoride. This right here will debunk what Del is saying, okay? Sulfur, I don't know how to spell it. Hexafluoride. it'll probably just correct me. Here we go. Sulfur hexafluoride, okay? Sulfur hexafluoride is colorless, odorless, non-flammable, and non-toxic gas. Blah, 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 blah. However, there's no reaction chemistry, blah, blah. Does it talk about how it's... Maybe I don't want to have to play a copyrighted video, but I might have to do that. To show that it's actually heavier than air. Deep voice gas. Okay, so here they have it in a tank, right? They're putting sulfur hexafluoride in a tank.
The boat. Okay? Ready? So here we go. Let's see if we can float the boat. Stay there, little guy.
And they make it float. Okay, so if... So is this... so he's saying this is because Earth is accelerating up, but I don't get it. Why isn't the gas floating like other gases do in the air? It's gonna end up in a... I'll have what he's smoking, please. Right? Okay, so does that not debunk what he's saying? Let me see.
Okay, you can hypothesize and fantasize about Narnia physics until you're blue in the face. Reality's simple. Okay, so what do we have now? Now we have people saying, well, the object's at rest, and you apply a force, which is correct because I have to apply pressure, I have to squeeze it, right? Then I have to put my arm in motion in order to elevate it to here. And then they say, when you done that, you gave this potential energy. Whatever the fuck that means. Right? Nothing is imparted. This gains nothing new by me picking it up. There is no magic woo-woo fairy dust being applied to it. Right? And then they'll say, and you gave it potential energy, and this in itself caused itself to move. It's just the same as me sitting there and saying, right, I've touched you now. I've touched you. I've gave you potential. Now move. Move. Can you move, please?
What is he doing? What is he doing? Cheers, Doug. What is he doing? You all know people can cancel the charges and just use super chat to get their comment read. I'd like to know if that super chat gets paid or canceled. Comment was pretty benign. Hope she gets... Oh, I don't think so. I haven't had anybody do that. Well, at least I don't know. I don't know. I know I'm starting a bit early this year, but is anyone in chat planning on driving to Vegas? Rico, are you in the group, the Telegram group, the carpool group? Get in there. Narnia woo woo. I like Guy Ritchie.
Please move. Pretty please with a cherry on top. Will I use my pineal gland powers or something? Do I need to pray to invisible fairy gods or something? I mean, move. Move, please. Can you move? I'll touch you again. I'm giving you more potential energy. Move. It's not working. Right, I've moved it. I've gave it more potential energy. Can you move back, please?
I don't understand how that's potential. I don't understand his use of the potential energy term, but...
Move back.
Maybe I don't get it.
Because you need a force of motion.
You need a force of motion.
Now these people want to say that when I let that go, it self creates force. Preposterous. Absolutely preposterous.
Well, okay. If the Earth is accelerating upward, what is moving the Earth? If he's saying that you need a mechanism, what mechanism is making the Earth accelerate up at 9.8 meters per second? Does he get to that part? Like, if you need a mechanism for everything to back up every single motion, like some sort of physical, mechanical mechanism, which is what I think I'm getting from this. What is the mechanism that makes the earth go up?
So another commenter,
Or does it stop there?
who wants to avoid reality, is saying, okay, I've got a car on an incline like this, okay, and then I remove my finger, right, and it moves, right. So again, it's the same. If you're going to claim that the car is the thing that accelerated itself, how is that? How does that make itself move?
Well, it's got wheels.
Saying it's more dense than the air and the air can't support it and blah blah blah.
It's more dense, so
Well,
he doesn't buy the density
of the
thing?
Here is the same as the density there, here and here, but it still goes that way. Doesn't it go that way?
So, okay, so does this not refute the density part? Or am I wrong? Because, like, I mean, it's gas. You could stick your hand in it. You can't, it needs a container. It's clearly not very dense, but it wants to stay on the ground. So I feel like this refutes what he's saying. And I wonder how he explains sulfur hexafluoride or anything else, any other sort of gas.
Doesn't it go up the way? Doesn't it go in any other direction? It goes down the way. The same here. Right, I'm holding that. Now remember, this, the table, the floor, myself, we're all connected to the reference frame. And if it's the reference frame that's pushing towards our feet, that's what creates the upward vector and gives you the equal and opposite downward vector. Okay? There is no woo-woo magic, it's just...
But here's the problem though, it's not necessarily always an equal and opposite downward vector, because like with that experiment with the guy, Zach, what's the name of the physicist? Like the thing that Zach wants to do, the experiment he wants to do with the two balls, with the magnets inside. And they both physically weigh the same amount. But one ball has two magnets with the two norths forced together, and the other ball has the magnet with the two souths forced together. And that's part of the thing that we want to do, is like that would be an experiment that we could do, that we're going to do as soon as we find a good place to drop the balls from, right, Zach? Where, supposedly those would fall at a different rate. Because what was that? There was a physicist named Boyd Bushman. Thank you. Good times for all. Boyd Bushman, who did that, where he had two physical objects that had the same weight, the same gravitas, right? But like I said, they were magnetic, and the two poles were forced together opposite ways, and supposedly when those two balls were dropped from the same height, they fell at different rates. That right there debunks what Dell is saying here about there being the Earth going up and there being an equal and opposite upward and downward vector because of the upward motion of the Earth, right? So that right there debunks it. I mean, if you can get different things to fall at different rates, I feel like that right there debunks it. Anyway, keep going.
Simple mechanics of motion. So when I remove, I would say that's because this, my hand, me, the whole reference frame is in motion, right? And just like any incline, if you put an incline and you push it upwards, it's forcing that downwards. It's very, very, very simple. But I've got people saying, oh, well, it moved, and the reason it moved is because you removed the brake. Well, me removing the brake's not imparting any pressure on this, right? I'm not applying a force. I'm just simply removing the block, and it moves. So your two options are: it's a reference frame that's moving, or you need to invoke some woo-woo mystical gibberish to explain how that moved itself. Buoyancy and density, the effect of, something sinking through a medium, or air bubbles rising through the medium, they stop the minute that I let the thing go.
Right, so he's comparing it to like just dropping it straight down from a holding it up and dropping it down, and his argument is when he shakes it back and forth, the water's displacing it. But I feel like he's ruling out the inertial change there. Once you start the velocity change, the extreme velocity change is causing the displacement. I mean, I feel like this is pretty obvious.
Right? Because density and buoyancy do not create themselves. Things have a set density, and you have things that are buoyant, like air bubbles and whatever, but the motion of those in that vector are only there when it's connected to the reference frame. As soon as it's no longer connected to the reference frame, that motion of the buoyancy and density effect column ceases to be. They freeze.
They freeze. What is the reference frame? I gotta hear that again.
To explain how that moved itself. Buoyancy and density, the effect of, something sinking through a medium or air bubbles rising through the medium, they stop the minute that I let the thing go. Right? Because density and buoyancy do not create themselves. Things have a set density, and you have things that are buoyant, like air bubbles and whatever, but the motion of those in that vector are only there when it's connected to the reference frame.
What am I watching?
As soon as it's no longer connected to the reference frame, that motion of the buoyancy and density effect column ceases to be. They freeze.
What reference frame is he talking about? Where does it get separated from the reference frame? What reference frame? Like, I'm confused. What's the reference frame he's talking about that thing gets disconnected from?
Right. Of the buoyancy in that vector do not create themselves. Things bubbles rising through the medium, they stop the minute that I let the thing go. Right? Because density and buoyancy do not create themselves.
Density and buoyancy do not create themselves. Okay. So something differentiates that?
Things have a set density, and you have things that are buoyant, like air bubbles and whatever, but the motion of those in that vector are only there when it's connected to the reference frame.
When it's connected to the reference frame. So when is it not connected to the reference frame? So what Dell is saying, I believe, when the bottle is in free fall, the liquid and gas does not displace. If so, then why? That's a curious. But it's not curious to me because liquid is the most dense that it can be. Don't you guys get it? A gas can be condensed to a liquid. A liquid is the most condensed. So it is the dense of the plastic bottle and the air and the liquid in the bottle. The liquid is the most dense. It's the most dense. It has the most weight. So to me, like, it should be at the bottom. This makes sense to me. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Hey, Karen, how are you on this fine Moonday?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh, just enjoying the world, watching it burn.
Ah, yes.
It keeps getting crazier and crazier by the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The good thing is I think a lot of the normies are starting to wake up and see that something isn't right in Kansas anymore.
Yeah, no kidding.
I was with family, the last weekend with the holiday, and I was talking with my sister's son, so that would be my nephew, right? Am I correct in that?
Say that again? The sisters of
My
what?
sister's son. So
Yeah, that's
my
your
sister's
nephew.
son. So that'd be my my
Yes.
nephew. Thank you. I get confused on this stuff.
I don't have any siblings, so I don't have any nieces or nephews, so I had to think about it too.
Yeah, it's not. It's like it's not a top priority to know exactly. Yeah, he's family. It's cool.
Yeah.
That's right. He's my son's cousin. Okay, there we go. Now I got it straight. Thank you for the help there, Karen. But we were chatting, and he knows that I'm one of those crazy flat earthers, and we were just sitting there having a conversation, and he was actually really paying attention to some of the facts I was dropping on him. And he was like, really? Okay. And I said, take a look at those boys at NASA. They continue to change the science. And we got deeper in talking into that, and he goes, a lot of what you're saying is making sense. And I went back to scripture as well, too, because, they're into the church and whatnot. And I said, show me in the Bible where it states that the earth is a magical spinning ball. Matter of fact, it states the exact opposite. And it's funny because he even asked me, he goes, can you start giving me the verses in scripture that show that? And I said, I'll do one better. I actually have a book. Can't remember who wrote the book, but he literally goes, he's got it in a book that shows you verse by verse or, scripture by scripture on what it talks about on the flat earth. And he uses the verses from like 3 or 4 different versions of the Bible, the King James and the other couple versions as well, too.
Cool.
And what I found the most interesting part about it is a lot of the reason he was paying more attention is I'm basically stating the same stuff I've stated to him, just a little bit better now that I've learned more years ago. And he's noticing at his college, because he's in college, getting a good education. And he's noting the contradictiveness of everything that's happening in his school.
Yeah.
Because they are heavily pushing the gender, and people don't know what gender they are. They have to decide what gender they are. And I looked at him and I said, are they really pushing that shit? He goes, yes, they are. I'm like, does that even make sense to you? He's like, no, it doesn't.
Right.
I said, start asking questions of these science people.
Yeah.
He goes, they don't like when you ask questions.
No, they don't.
I said, but that's what science is. And I explained to him the true definition of science. And he looked at me and he goes, yeah, that does make sense. I said, exactly. If I have a theory, I perform experiments, I record and document it, and then I take it to you if you're a fellow scientist or a researcher. And I say, hey, Austin, here's what I've come up with. Please check my observations and check what I did. You'll either confirm it or you'll go, hey, I noticed some errors you made. And we'll work on correcting it, or it'll come out to be, hey, clearly you've done something that's completely wrong here, JM, and none of this is right. It sounds like bullshit. I said, do you see how that makes more sense than trust the science and it's moving at the speed of science bullshit?
Yeah.
That'll be really interesting if my nephew actually starts becoming a flat earther, because his father, if anybody that knows, the infamous Ryan, wonder if that would cause a problem at the family get-togethers then. Son of a bitch, you turned my son into a flat earther.
Suppose it's possible.
Well, the next family get-together, I am going to bring over that book that goes by scripture.
Which book? What you mean?
There's a book I've got to. I'll next time I get on, I'll tell you the name of it. It's actually a fantastic book because it literally breaks it down and has, like I said, it's like 3 or 4 different versions of the Bible. Because there's the NIV and the King James, and there's a couple other versions. Because people always try to go, well, it just depends on the version of the Bible, and this guy has it broken down from scripture to scripture.
That's interesting. Yeah.
That validates the flat Earth.
Cool.
It's well written. It even has pretty pictures.
Nice.
You got to have pretty pictures.
I like pictures.
Although I could not get my sister to understand that, airplanes cannot rip through concrete and steel buildings.
Right?
She used to be in the airline industry. She was I used to call them stewardesses, but I think the flight attendants is the technical name.
Yeah, flight attendant now, I guess.
Yeah. She's like, you don't understand. And I told Austin, I said, Austin, pull up a picture of the video of it. And he goes, yeah, see, it's ripping through the whole building. And she goes, that's because it's all glass. It's all glass. And I said, have you seen the structure of those 2 buildings? They were some of the strongest ever.
Yeah.
They were designed to be able to take the impact of a fucking airplane.
Yeah. Yeah, precisely. Because a lot of people forget an airplane hit the Empire State Building, so they knew it was a possibility.
Oh yeah, they don't like when I bring that up either. I'm like, well, we can go on YouTube and I can show you some pretty good video footage of what happens when a friggin' airplane that's a little bit stronger than a commercial airplane and a little bit bigger than a commercial airplane, a B-22 bomber, smacks into the side of a building. She goes, that's because the Empire State Building is all concrete. No.
Yeah, that's some serious cognitive dissonance.
People just don't, and they get angry. And I really think it's because people are so afraid to admit that they were deceived or that they were wrong.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
At least with our group, if we make a mistake, we'll admit to it. Well, the most of us will anyways. Hey, I made a mistake. I was incorrect in my observations, or I was incorrect. I've made corrections. Here's what I've got. That's what intelligent people do, is it not?
Well, you would think.
I wonder if a lot of it has to do with the ego, Karen. Do you think it's people's ego has become so big they are afraid to admit that they were deceived or that they were wrong?
Yeah, I think most people have a problem admitting they were wrong about anything. I think that's a huge issue for a lot of people.
I told my family, I look at them and go, look, I ain't the guy you knew in my 20s. I said, I was a flipping retard in my 20s.
Yep.
Yeah, be careful saying that now because that could offend somebody.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I know. People now say the R word. It's like, come on.
None of this makes any sense. It's at least the good thing is it made me feel good that my nephew was actually opening his mind up and starting to realize, hey, wait a minute, my uncle's not as crazy as my dad's told me he is.
Hello?
She didn't like when I told her.
Oh.
Yeah, are you there?
Yeah.
She didn't like when I told her that my Sega Dreamcast had better graphics than they did in 9/11 for the airplanes.
Oh God.
It didn't go over well.
Yeah.
Well, let me get off here, Miss Karen. As always, a great pleasure. Definitely want to give a shout out to that Brian Stabley feller and that No Despair feller.
Oh, yeah. No Despair Bear. I haven't seen him around lately. He must be busy.
He's working and doing that reffing stuff that he does.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
That's right. It's Well, it's you know what though? It's summertime. It's starting to get nice out. Everybody should be spending more time outside anyway.
Exactly. But he's even stated that there's kids freaking having heart issues on the baseball fields.
Dude, that is so scary. And then somebody else was saying the other day that like they're installing defibrillators on schools, like elementary schools. That's insanity to me, dude.
That's why I love my son as an example, because I bring it up time and time again to people. I had somebody that literally came, because I just moved, and he was installing the internet in the place where we're living now. And we were talking, and he wasn't quite to the flat earth. He is starting to open his eyes on some things, and he has a 10-month-old son. And we were talking, and we brought up the vaccines, and he was telling me, he goes, well, I noticed, he goes, when my son was 9 months old, he was saying things, you know, mommy, daddy, door, chair. He was talking, you know, not like you and I are talking, but talking like a developing child should. He goes, but then we gave him that shot, you know, the shot that they get around that age. He stopped talking for a fucking month.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Not the COVID shot, but just the regular normal vaccine.
Oh yeah. Right.
And now all he can barely say is mommy and daddy.
Ugh. How sad.
And I pleaded with that guy. I said, please. I said, you saw my son before he left. 20 years old, perfectly healthy. Stop vaccinating him at 2 years old. He doesn't get sick. He stopped getting sick after I stopped vaccinating him.
Yep. For sure.
Allowed these bastards to poison our children and make them dumb, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Stop with the vaccines and homeschool the children. Get your communities together and start teaching their children correctly, educating them correctly. Turn off that tell-lie vision.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Karen. As always, a pleasure. And Mark Sargent, as always, you know, because that feller seems to be like a good feller.
He's all right.
Hey, they do have a pinball museum over there in Vegas. I'm just saying. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, that would be cool. We should go take pictures with Mark over there.
I have to challenge him to a game of the pins. I don't know, one of the pins. I have to.
Oh, that would be awesome.
If he's up for it.
Yeah, man.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Karen. Appreciate you.
All right. Take care, JM.
Bye.
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 AED should have been every public location 20 years ago. Why is that? Ooh, Dr. Law. Thanks for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Hey, Queen D. How are you?
Hey, what's up, Dr. Law? I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing great. Yeah, Brian and Daryl is over there. Last night we were in this chat, and I called in. Hey, I just want to shout out Daryl Davis, guys. That man is doing some great work.
I was listening. Yeah. I watched that.
Oh, you listened to it?
Yeah, I was listening. I wasn't in chat. I was just kind of laying there listening to it all. Yeah, it was a good show.
Yeah, that's the first interview I have ever watched fully.
Oh, really?
But yeah, him. Yes, you know, because everyone's story is really the same, you know. as far as coming onto Flat Earth and all that good stuff. But yeah, him and I was, just want to thank him. He's done so much for the community, as well as Thunder Chicken. That's Lee.
Mm-hmm.
He's helping out a lot. He's helping one of our, Flat Earth brothers, Tom from Knoxville. He's going through a bout of big C, nothing pancreatic, but yeah, I need to call him up. I was going to call him up last night, but I watched the show and it was so late.
Mm-hmm.
But Daryl's listening. I want to say again, thanks from the bottom of our hearts, and I'm speaking for the community, those who are, here with us, and those who are opposed to us, and because he has a way of tying people together, with what he does, and he's an all around great guy. I tell you.
He is.
But yep. But yeah. Hey, yeah. I think it's Vegas, baby Vegas.
Yeah, I know. I heard both of you, because both of you were like, I'm not going to Vegas, and now you both are saying you're going to Vegas. I love it. I love you guys. You're gonna have a blast with us. You can't miss it. It doesn't really matter, where it is. You're just gonna be with your people.
Absolutely. Whether we agree or disagree, it's just the energy that you get from there. Everything goes away once you start talking and just being together. The vibe is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I said, both Daryl and I, we have had bad experiences in Vegas. I thought we were one and done, but obviously not because of you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I appreciate, everything you do, and really I don't want to miss one of your events. It's the best thing, and it's going to be one of those that I'm not doing anything. The first one I didn't do cooking. I should have gotten with you on that, but every other one we've done except for Spartanburg because of the venue.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
But, and even you're right. Even at that time, I was still doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Working on people's backs.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And, we managed to, we managed to raise enough money for Chris and Whitsit for their clown tour. And and I also wanted to address another thing I was talking about with Brian and Daryl about these people. Our brothers out there and sisters who think that truth should be free. I really get that, but someone had to go dig it out and look for it and pass it on. And what's the problem with them, being benefited or rewarded from it? I would rather see the rewards go to one of us instead of one of them. The big corporations and people who are out there just for money, who don't care about you.
Right.
At least our community, we care about one another, and I try to show that with everything I do. Just like how Daryl does it, how Lee does it, and everyone else who does a little something for the people around.
Mm-hmm.
They do with medicinal. People like Alex, Critical Inception, he does mechanical. He can work on that.
Mm-hmm.
Just Jack, he does the Torah, and he does that spiritual thing, just as well as my man Marty Lee. Shout out to him.
Mm-hmm.
With his services on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wanted to say that, and if I'm in Vegas, I think maybe Lavas have to come out of retirement. If you guys want him out there, he might come out too.
That would be so awesome.
Yeah, I think first time I'm going to have a good time without doing anything.
Yeah, man,
but
totally.
That's all I wanted to say.
You deserve it. You deserve to come out
really
and hang
excited.
out and have a good time. And just party.
Well, I can do that while I'm cooking. I can do both, but I'm more comfortable when I'm doing something with my hands, instead of just with my mouth and, talking. I don't like to talk much.
Okay, well, I'll make sure I give you a job in Las Vegas. I'll have something for you to do.
Maybe give me a couple minutes on stage, Brian. I can rock it. Or maybe with Music Guru.
I don't know if Music
we can make a
Guru is
band or
coming.
something.
I don't know if Conspiracy Music Guru is coming. I'm hearing that he doesn't want to.
Oh.
You know, whatever.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about CMG. You know, I don't know.
Right.
But Chief Crow will be there.
Because okay, cool. Because I thought that Stellium 7 was going to come with him, because they're both in Spain.
Oh, I don't know. Probably not. They're all mad at me. See, earlier when I was ranting about that whole tree thing, yeah, dude, the chat I was in was the Stellium 7 chat where they were all calling me gatekeepers and saying that all I do is cause, you know, division and shit. Whatever. So.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's okay.
Maybe I'll have to.
Everybody can think
Right.
whatever they
Maybe
want
I
to
have to
think.
talk
They can believe whatever they want to believe. I don't care. I'm just tired of people trying to like force me to like think what they think or go with whatever they go with. Like, I just don't, you know, I have more questions. I need to examine things more. And I just got tired of it. I got tired of that stuff. And so maybe they just don't want to be around me anymore. I don't know.
Oh no, I mean, maybe I'll have to talk to my Cairo bro, Mike Stellium 7, and maybe talk it out a little bit with him. I'll see. But I just like to see we can be at odds with one another, but still come together for a very important meetup. And to me, it is very important that we meet up. Put our differences aside for a couple of days, because you have the rest of 360 days and to mess around with the sheeple out there and be at odds with them.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I mean, it's the 5% I think that are awake, and then we should be together. It's just very, very, very disheartening, but let's see how it goes. I'm sorry it took me so long. I was prepping lunch for my boys, and I had to hang up. And then, even with Brian O'Shea, I like the guy. He's just, he's on his own little journey. He just needs to maybe tone it down a little bit when he's around people who are awakened, instead of making, more, what do you call it? More opposition. We can all get along. There's no kumbaya, but we can all agree to disagree as adults and open-minded people, right?
Yep. Totally. That's why I said at the beginning,
right,
I don't care what people think mountains are. Everybody believe whatever you want to believe. If you want to believe they're melted buildings, cool. If you want to believe they're mountains, cool. If you want to believe they're petrified giants, cool. I am not decided yet. I am still investigating, and I do not lean towards any one of those ideas. That's just where I stand. And I just get tired of people calling me, saying that because I don't go along with these ideas that I'm causing division, or I'm a gatekeeper, or I believe mainstream. It frustrates me. Don't put me in your box. Don't put me in your truther box. Okay?
Right. I mean, I get it, Queen Bee. I get it. It's just, I'm like Daryl. I get along with everyone, and I try to see everyone's side. There's mountains and it's good arguments, but at the end of the day, we can't prove it. It's great to speculate, but we cannot speculate to a point where we want to make it into reality. Just speculate is great. What if, because we will never ever know in this life that we have here in this realm.
Mm-hmm.
And so, with that, just take it with a grain of salt, and just if someone disagrees with you, that's fine. If they agree with you, that's fine too. But don't take something that you cannot prove and make it into a fact or reality. Okay, that's all I'm saying. And I'm saying that with a really, with a big heart. I don't want to make enemies, especially with the small community that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so.
Right.
All right, so I'm very excited, and Shelly and I, and maybe Colleen, maybe the shield. I don't know, but we have at least 3 of us going from the Kakalaki crew. I'm not sure about Tommy and Vinny. I want to shout out to my boy Tommy too, that flat fellow. He finally now has gotten rid of his squatters who
really?
hit the road.
Thank goodness.
And yes, here's a story. That was about a week ago. They hit the road in their little short bus, the R word, bus, the fucking retarded bus. and they broke down in Virginia a couple of days later. So they're stranded.
Oof.
So
well,
yeah, they had a good thing. They did bad things by squatting on Tommy.
Well, they took advantage of him.
Karma's a bitch.
Yeah, and that is karma.
Absolutely.
That truly is karma. They deserve it,
Yeah, it couldn't happen to a bunch of more deserving people, in my opinion. But yeah, but that's over and done. Tommy's got to move back in because they peed in his washing machine, and they've been putting pee into his washing machine. He has had to work on that. And they put sugar all around it. Oh,
they are disgusting people. That Amanda chick is disgusting. That's gross.
Yeah.
Foul.
And the GD, hey, if you're listening, we're watching out for you. And I want to let everyone know in the community, don't let her squat your property, because she will do it. The people like her make all of us look bad. And they even took some acid and put it on Tommy's grass and wrote thanks.
God.
It's really disgusting. Yep. They took a couple of his doors from his his trailer, the closet doors. They put sugar in his cabinet so the bugs will come in and get it. They left the doors wide open when they left and turned the AC all the way down.
What assholes,
this is how
dude.
Spiteful.
They are just what an asshole. What a disgusting, wow. How?
Yeah, but you have to look on the brighter side. We have to look on the bright side, though, Queen Bee. The bright side is that we have people, like I said, Daryl, Lee, and now Tommy, who can actually help people, and yet they still keep their heads up, and they actually try to help people, and they're doing what they're saying. And Tommy's just walking away with this, with something that he's learned, and use it for better judgment later on, for things like this if it ever comes up again.
Mm-hmm.
So I take it, I take the positive that we have people in our community who are willing to give an arm and a leg to help you out, but it's the people that try to take advantage of it that makes us all look bad, and not want to help those who really, really deserve help. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because one of us, all of us may be in that predicament, somehow, one way or another. Things can happen, like a freak accident. Something could happen. We have a stroke, whatever.
Yeah.
And it would put us in financial stress, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at least we know that there are people in our community who are willing to help, and that's what I like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we do help people
So,
when they
take
genuinely
away the
need help. Like Carly Sunshine, is a good example of that. Her family needed help. We helped them. They were extremely thankful, and that was the end of it. They went on with their lives. They didn't continue to ask for help. They didn't continue scamming people. That's the difference. Is these people, they don't ask for help because they fell on hard times and they just need help getting back to take care of themselves. They want to live off other people. They're leeches. They're lazy. They have some weird sort of sense of entitlement. They don't believe in being responsible for themselves. And that's wrong. That's when other people who are giving and who do want to try to help people, they get taken advantage of by people like that disgusting Amanda chick.
Absolutely. And lastly, I was talking earlier about truth should be free, and there are people out there who don't want to subscribe to, content makers like you and other Brian and things like that. Let me let everyone know. I think everyone knows that we have given, the Kakalaki crew, we have put out over $5,000 in cold hard cash to help people in the community.
You mean collectively, like over all the events and stuff?
Yeah. Over
Wow.
just three events, right? We did a Flattober 2, Solar Return, and then this past Flattober. Basically three
Wow.
events, because we couldn't do 3. But here's the thing, though.
No, but you
The
didn't.
person that, go ahead.
I was trying to remember. I thought you guys did raise money at 2021, though, but I don't remember. I could be wrong.
You're right, because I did the adjustments for Flattoberfest 3 when Skiba passed away, and that one in Spartanburg.
Yeah.
I was adjusting upstairs, and then we raised $500 for Wixit. Remember?
Yeah. See, so there you go. You did do it that year.
Okay, so yeah, you're right. That's 4 times, but we could have done all of them, and I wish we could do this one. But here's the bottom line is this: the one that none of this shit could have been possible without you, Queen Bee. The one that deserves the most credit for that is you. I keep telling you, if it wasn't for you, we could not do it. All right? So there you go. You're one of the few, even though you have a lot of opposition, about your views and about their views, whatever. At the end of the day, if you weren't the one doing it and doing what you're doing, we couldn't have done the help without what you're doing. You see, you are the catalyst to what we do. Okay, so we want to thank you too, Queen Bee. You are, amazing. We all are amazing, right? I know you don't like to take credit because I know how you are, and you know how I am.
Right.
But you're the one that gets everything going, gets the ball rolling, and and I hope you do well in every damn event that you have, even for the haters, those that used to love you and now don't like you. Without you, we would have never met them, and they would have never, ever have the following that they have now, because all this, that they're talking about is really, to the normal people or the sheeple, is crazy, just like flat earth is, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So we just want to say thanks from the community, and I speak for everyone in the community, even those that hate you. Okay, I speak for them too.
I'm sure they appreciate
If they don't like it, call me. We will talk. Okay? All right, Queen Bee, and that's all I have. I'm glad you came back, and no more breaks for you, okay? We can't have that. I'm going to be the coffee Nazi. No breaks for you.
All right. Thanks
All right,
for
have a
calling.
good one. I love everyone in chat. Much love.
All right. Much love, Law. Thanks again.
Yep, laters.
Yeah. Law is the best. We're a team, you guys. We're a team. Like when he talks about all the money that we raised for people at the events. Yeah, I put on the event, but it's like I still can't do all of it by myself. Everybody that shows up there is what makes it happen. It's definitely a team effort, which feels really good. That's the really good takeaway from the events, is you get that sort of, you get to leave with that feeling of camaraderie, because you're hanging out with everybody in real life. Nothing beats meeting everybody in real life. That's the only thing that keeps me doing this, is because I know that that's true. And everybody, says that they feel the same way. There's nothing like meeting everybody in real life. and everybody in the same place at the same time. It's like you get an overload, you get to meet everybody. And it's really going to be fantastic, like I said, because this year it's international. We've got people coming from the Netherlands. I've already announced that I am going to be bringing over Mark Devlin from the UK as one of the presenters for the Flattoberfest 2023 event. And I do have another person that I am going to be bringing over too, but I have not announced that person yet. So, we've got really a lot of wonderful people that are going to be there already, because Mark Sargent, of course, he's like, that's my homie, dude. Mark, I don't feel right doing an event without Mark. There was one that he didn't show up to, but most of the time he's there all the time, and he's in it 100%, and the whole time he's talking to people. He is, he's legit. He's one of the hardest working flat earthers that there is. He does interviews all the time. I mean, before David Weiss started doing what he's doing, Mark was the only one. So, Mark gets a lot of hate. A lot of people in this community who are content creators express their distrust. But they don't know Mark. Why don't you guys meet Mark? Why don't you come to my event and meet Mark in real life and talk to him and see what he's all about? Talk to the rest, talk to us. We are, if you think there's something fishy about us, come meet us in real life. And then you can decide for yourself. You can see what's really going on with us. I don't hide. Mark doesn't hide. So it's going to be Mark Sargent, Mark Devlin, Jeranism will be there this year because it's close to where he's at. So he'll be able to make it this year. So that's pretty cool. Ben Balderson. Chief Crow, so, and there'll be some others. Not everybody's been confirmed yet, and so not everybody's been announced. But it's an international event. It's happening in Vegas. We got a lot of room for a lot of people. Everybody's going to be in one hotel, a la FEIC style. If you guys ever been to one of those, it's going to be like that. So it's going to be really awesome. The whole weekend, everybody, within a small vicinity of each other. It's going to be amazing. It'll be indescribable. Seriously, you can't know what it's like until you go to the event. And most of the people who come to my events are repeat attendees. Well, not most of them, but a lot of them are. And I also get a lot of first timers because they hear about how much fun and how much other people enjoyed the events that I went to. So every year I get a lot of first timers and I get a lot of repeaters because I'm a scammer. I take advantage of people all the time, and these people love to be scammed. So they come back for more every year. And I don't know. I don't know why people say that. But it really is a good time. So Mark should be there, just not on the t-shirt. Ha! Mark is all in. He always has been. Exactly. I don't know if Voy's coming, there's people who've bought tickets from Europe and stuff, so it's gonna be fun. Anyone wanna help Thunder Chicken with his harvest so he can make it to Vegas? Oh, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Hotels are like a whole city. That's right. In the hotel, it's called Sam's Town. It is like a little mini town. So the population of that hotel is more than the population of the town I live in, probably on a daily basis. So yeah. So I guess I did with the calls. I got kind of distracted off of the Dell subject. We can touch on it again later. But I really just don't agree with his hypothesis. I think he's discounting a lot of things. He's not taking into account unseen forces. So what it seems to me is that he doesn't think that unseen forces are real, because he was talking about the mystical, magical, woo-woo force or whatever. So I think that's him referring to electrostatics, which actually are real because we have technology that uses electrostatics all over the place. So I don't know why you would choose to just ignore that. I don't know. I feel like this is going backwards, in my opinion. I feel like this is a conversation that is like from like 3 years ago, and we should be beyond this now. That's just my opinion. I don't really know what to say. Any thoughts on this? Golf cart with scrunchies. You guys are funny. What's going on in Florida? Are you guys doing a meetup in Florida? Maybe I can stop by Austin Spot 2 in Florida. I do want to make a trip next year and take my car across country. Swing up through the state of Jefferson. That's funny. I wonder if Jefferson will ever become a thing. I highly doubt it. I really don't see the states being changed at this point in time. I feel like, they don't even want to add to the 50 states. They have territories like what is it? Like Puerto Rico or whatever. These territories they have, like, they don't want to add any states. They don't want to add any stars to the flag and change shit. I think they just want to leave it the way it is now. That was a good summary. His line of inquiry goes nowhere, it seems. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we can talk about it more, but I feel like his reasoning is flawed here. I think he needs to think about this a bit more. Let's see this one.
Just watch your faces.
Okay, once I spin this, I'm going to drop it. You right?
So he's spun it upside down, and the buoy, the little buoy inside, is now at the bottom of the bottle because he's got it upside down. So now he drops it.
See, it's that float getting stuck up there. Yeah, you're going to let it go.
So then he makes him flip. He's got one thing that sinks and one thing that floats, okay? Okay, so he drops it. And they're both kind of hanging out in the middle for a little bit. And then it ends.
Right.
I mean, it's like what happens when they have a density tower in the 0G plane, right? Like the density tower doesn't separate when they're in the 0G plane, but then once they are out of free fall mode, then okay, so the bubble's going up. How many times did he do this? This is hilarious. Okay, so flips it over, drops it. Now the weight and the bottle are falling at the same time, and the buoy is still at the top. You see that? So now the little floaty buoy is going to the top like it should, and the weight is kind of in limbo because that and the water are falling at the same time. I don't get what he's trying to prove with this. I still don't think this shows that the Earth is accelerating upwards. The buoy is still higher, yeah. There are so many Mongs in the Spartan area too. They grow everything on their lands. Yeah. He is saying that density and buoyancy vanish during free fall. Well, I mean, okay. And this is hoopty. Hoopty? Oh my god, I haven't heard that word in so long. Yeah, it's hoopty. He doesn't deny electrostatics. He says you can't demonstrate it, proving 9.8 meters per second squared. Not a great experiment. I mean, I just don't. I mean, the 9.8 meters, isn't that an average? We've already got examples of things falling at different rates. So it's not the Earth accelerating up. A container with gas and liquid will displace on acceleration, yes or no? I don't know what you mean. Look, you know what? If you want to think that the Earth goes up 9.8 meters per second, that's fine, dude. I don't believe that. He just said in the last video that electrostatics doesn't affect gas and liquid. He's wrong. Exactly. I think I'm sorry, but I just think his thinking is extremely flawed. Because water will displace on acceleration, but not when it's going towards the Earth, right? Because everything accelerates, down is towards the Earth, right? So if down is towards the Earth and everything that is dense wants to rest on the surface of the Earth, Yeah. Get in your car and smash the pedal, you fly backwards. Right? Like, you know, so it's like when you're going side to side and you're switching, you know that once I'm going this way, you know, if I go this way, all the liquid will go over here, right? And then if I switch it and I go this way, all the liquid will go over there because of acceleration. But when you're talking about something at rest, liquid always wants to rest on wants to go to the bottom. It always, you know, goes down the path of least resistance towards the surface of the earth. Right? I mean, that's just what it does. So for me, like, I don't see, you know, if you're shaking something side to side, that's not the same, it's not the same vector as up and down, right? That's different. Plus you're having that inertial change where you shake it back and forth, which is causing the displacement. To me, it's two different things that are going on. The test needs to be done outside the frame of reference of Earth, which can't be done, right? Although creating another vector doesn't negate the first one. That's right, Zach. I don't know. I mean, and then if you take two magnets that are sitting on a table and they, you know, like right here. I got some magnets right here, my little biomagnets, right? Okay, so here's my magnets. So look at them. So is this a woo-woo force that is making the magnets repel? Right? They don't want to go together. If I have, you know, but the opposing, so what is that? What is that? I mean, is that not an unseen force? So when I have them and they're repelling, they want to go together. I mean, what is that? Is this woo-woo? Is this because the Earth is going sideways one way? Or is it because the magnets are repelling each other with an unseen force? I mean, I just don't get it. There's more unseen forces than there are seen forces in this realm. And the more I look into it, the more I think that's true. So to dismiss any sort of unseen force is, you're really just doing yourself a disservice, and you're just limiting your understanding of how this place works. And if the Earth is moving, it's introducing this other thing it's moving through. Sounds like a fake space scenario. Yeah. So again, I would ask, what's the mechanical force that's causing the Earth to move? If you need a mechanical force, is the Earth moving, you know, so he thinks the Earth is moving on its own, just up in a straight line constantly? What's the driving force behind what's the mechanics of the moving Earth? If you need some sort of mechanical, some sort of physical, mechanical thing to make something move, what is the mechanical thing that moves the Earth? I mean, that's just, I guess that's where I would end it. That's my last question about it. Right? It's positive and it's the polarity of the magnets that push them, you know, towards each other and away from each other. I think I got bigger ones here. Oh my god, these are like stuck together. Holy smokes. Oh, that was hard. This is why you usually store magnets with separators, because they get like bonded together. Man. Woo, doggy. I had to work to get those apart. I had to work. Did you see how hard it was for me to pull those magnets apart? Because of unseen forces, right? Like, they don't want to go together. But then... I mean... So there's no unseen forces? What's the woo-woo magic that makes the magnets attract? I think his claim technically is it's in motion but not accelerating to a faster speed. Pretty sure he said it in... Well, that's what I'm saying. They're saying the Earth is in a constant motion. But how? Like, he's saying that motion requires like a mechanical thing to cause motion. So what's the mechanical thing that causes the motion of the Earth going up at 9.8 meters per second? Are we on a giant elevator? You know, this is what I'm saying. Like, I don't know that it could ever be proven. You know, it's just like what Liz was saying. You have to get outside of the frame of reference of Earth, which is like, this kind of goes back to like the whole issue of why there even is an argument as to whether or not the Earth is moving or not. You know, whether it's us or the sky that's moving, because there's no way for us to get outside of the system and view it from an objective point of view. You know, there's no way. So it's like one of those, it's going to be one of those things that will be perpetually, you know, ultimately it'll probably remain unanswered unless you just sort of decide to accept, you know, the way that Earth presents itself. Because like even Del, when he's shaking, you know, that bottle of liquid and he's showing you this is motion, you know, but then if he drops it, the liquid isn't displacing in that same manner. It's staying at the bottom of the bottle. So that means the Earth is moving up. But like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Because, you know, we'll look at oceans versus those still lakes. So you have these lakes that are perfectly still and they're flat and they have almost no movement in them, and then you have an ocean with currents and everything happening on in the same system. So why does the ocean have so much movement and the lake doesn't? I mean, I don't know. To me that whole idea just doesn't really fit into the paradigm. It gives you more questions than answers. I feel like if you really want to understand the universe, you really just have to kind of take it for what it is. Just like Del said, you know, it's really simple. Well, why don't you keep it simple? When you start, you know, inserting things like the Earth is moving upwards, you know, I feel like you're introducing a whole nother thing going on that really isn't going on. Maybe making things more complicated than it needs to be. I mean, you can go that route. Like, he's free to go that route and like continue doing his, you know, his observations and studies that way. But I feel like you're, that's kind of like a backwards move in my opinion. You cannot accelerate in a straight vector and keep the same speed. That's an oxymoron. Right? You're either accelerating or you're not, or you're just in motion. So doesn't the whole universe have to be moving up at the same speed as well? If not, how? Yeah, exactly. Like everything, right? All the lights in the sky. So are we still enclosed or are we not enclosed? Like, I don't get it. What is he really... He's caused unnecessary division. Exponential acceleration violates every rule of reality. Just saying that reality matters. I agree, Cammy. If it is not accelerating, then jumping from 100 feet into water couldn't kill you. It would be like jumping from 10 feet still. Right? Right, Zach? That's true. Because you have to get up to terminal velocity, right? Which is like the fastest something can fall. So once you start falling, you accelerate up to terminal velocity until you get like the fastest you could possibly be. Yeah. I don't know. I would not get too hung up on whatever Dell is doing over there, personally. That's just my opinion. See, this is like why, when people come to me and they're like, oh, you need to watch so-and-so and you need to watch so-and-so, sometimes I'll take a peek and then I have to decide for myself if that's really something I need to be looking at or not. Because most of the time, the things that people send to me are things that I really don't care to look at. And it's not like anything against somebody else looking at that stuff. It's just that, like I was saying earlier, I go where I feel led to go. I have certain things that pique my interest and things that don't. And so I have to go with what piques my interest because it's piquing my interest for a reason, right? There's something inside of me that is leading me down this certain path and I have to follow it. If I don't follow it, this small inside voice that's telling me to go look at this or look at that or maybe this or maybe that, then I'm doing a huge disservice to myself. And if I just go where other people tell me to go, well, who knows where I'll end up. And then if I'm not happy with it, it's just sort of, you could end up in a place that's kind of crappy. And then what happened? Well, it's your own fault because you listened to XYZ when you should have listened to yourself. So I just try to, stay on my own course and listen to that little voice inside me that says, oh yeah, you should go, this is interesting, or maybe this is not so much. And then I just go where I feel led. So, and a lot of times that's not where everybody else is going. I've never been, I'm not a crowd follower. I'm more of a nonconformist. Kind of been in that nonconformist mindset for a very, very long time. And it's served me well, I'd have to say, for the most part. So I think I'll just stick with that. But anyway, I think I'm going to wrap it up. It is 1 p.m. I really didn't plan on going this long today, but you know how it goes. So I do appreciate you all being here with me for another episode of Coffee Talk with Karen B. It's been enlightening. It's been invigorating. It's been real. Listening to someone say something and accepting it as truth need to stay two separate functions. Yeah, exactly. Always place your brain in between. Yeah, this is the same argument modern science uses, but from a different perspective. Flying through an infinite nothing at such rate, blah, blah, blah. I agree, Billingtano. I feel like it's okay that the Earth is not moving. This is acceptable to me. With so many tangents and rabbit holes within rabbit holes, a person can fall down. Yeah. There are some other interesting subjects, and I can see why people get interested in these other subjects, but for myself, I like to stay focused. I am pretty focused on mostly and mainly the level and stationary geocentric Earth that we live on, because I feel like that's one thing that can be proven. It is observable, it is demonstrable, it is testable, it's obvious, it can be realized because it is an observable truth. That's why I like to stick with it. I don't like to get too far down the lane of speculation on things. And then, everything in between, sort of figuring out how this realm works, or at least trying to. That's what I like. And I also like, well, all kinds of stuff. All right. So let me close my phones and shut that down. Thanks for your calls. Appreciate you. You're abusive. That's how I felt about the moon map. I'll be live at 4 p.m. Eastern with Patrick Gunnels. He's a Flat Earther show, so I won't be flipping out today. I have no idea where the live stream is. Okay. Well, send us a link. We'll share it out for you, Dave, whenever you're ready. Also, thank you to Peaceful for the super chat, for the extremely generous super chat. Really appreciate that. And so you guys, flatearthfestivals.com for tickets to Flattoberfest. I still got some tickets left at the super discounted price. Okay, so if you know you're going and you want to get your ticket early, now's the time. There's the price is going to go up as soon as these first 100 tickets sell, and I've got 25 left last time I checked at the super deep discount price. So there you go. If you're looking to be a volunteer, if you want to work, I will make you work a little bit, at least. Okay? So don't think you're going to get on the volunteer list and then just go screw around the whole time and not help out. But if you are willing to help with the event and you want to volunteer your time, you can email me at flatearthfestivals@protonmail.com or karenbfe@protonmail.com. And that is it. Also, you can message me with any meetups that you are putting on, and I still will list them on the Flat Earth Festival's website under the Flat Earth Meetups section for free. So, send me an email if you want to get the word out about your next meetup. What else? What else? Is there any other questions? Before I go. I think that's it. Playing tennis at 4 p.m. All right. Okay, you guys, I guess that's it. I'm sure there's probably something else I'm supposed to say, but I'm forgetting. Oh, maybe be back here tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern, where me and Mark Sargent will be back with another lovely episode of Strange World. And Saturdays for anti-religious scripture study. Didn't have one this last Saturday because Jack didn't have internet, so I think we will be resuming that again this Saturday. And of course, Mondays for coffee talk. And possibly somewhere in between. Oh, and Glowbusters Tech now. That's right. I will be joining Cami and company, Cami, Zach and company for Glowbusters Tech Thursday. I think we're going to be doing another show on magnetic declination to sort of supplement the magnetic declination conversation that went off on Glowbusters last Sunday. So it is a really interesting subject, and it is very relevant to what we're doing here. So that should be a good show. And I think, is that it? I think that's it. All right. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Have a wonderful week. Go outside, get some sunshine, and I will see you guys next time, and hopefully in real life, October 21st and 22nd at Flattoberfest in Las Vegas. All right, peace. And for those who wish to send me stuff through snail mail, you can send it to P.O. Box 10, Earl, North Carolina, 28038. There are also links below for Flat Earth merch, and you can send me donations, and I do appreciate all the support. Sincerely, thank you very much. Also, please go to flatearthfestivals.com for all information about upcoming Flattoberfests and Flat Earth-friendly local meetups. If you are organizing a local Flat Earth meetup, email me at flatearthfestivals@protonmail.com with your meetup information to have it listed on the website for free. For everything else, you can email me at karenbfe@protonmail.com. Thank you for being here.